Eels.
What an atmosphere!
Triple M rocks footy.
It's what rugby league's all about. Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Welcome back to Prime Time, all thanks to Mitsubishi Heavy Industry Air Conditioners Australia. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia. Put your trust in the experts in air. Eels taking on the Melbourne Storm. That game will be called by Dan Ganane. We've got the great Buzz Rothfield joining us for the next hour. Hello, Buzz. How are you, mate?
Hey, Dubbo, Gordy, Jimmy. Just filed Monday Buzz for tomorrow's telly. A Roosters column about the problems which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. But before we get to that, we have arguably the best caller in the game in Dan Ganane, who will be calling this game. But we have to address Friday night. Now, for those who...
Hello, everyone, by the way.
Hello,
guys.
Dan.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Excellent.
For those...
Sorry, Dan, for some reason, Dobbo's coming on this segment. He's not supposed to be.
No, because
there's a reason.
No, I want to know then... And this is what we all have heard on Friday night. Can we please play the tape of Dan Ganane and the alleged mistake that was made very, very easily? Go ahead.
It comes away to Moju. Moju gets there. Moju gets there. Newcastle on the verge of mucking it up again. But Moju finds his way to the line. And finally, the Knights have taken the lead.
Now, what I heard...
That's the first I've heard that, by the way.
What I heard was mucking. Now, some people have assumed it was something else. And, Dan, you have come out on social media platforms and said, rightly so, you did not say that word.
Jeez, Dobbo. Okay. All right. I'll get to it all. I'll get to it all. Well, yes,
Can I
Buzz.
say...
Yes.
I thought you dropped the F-bomb.
Same here.
Hearing that, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Now, that was taken from the TV, I gather, not from... Someone tweeted it, and that's what spread like... Can we load it up and play it again? Because I can acknowledge that does sound like...
Make sure he doesn't muck it up.
No, and I think it's either a whistle or... Because I didn't say it, but it's a whistle, or Fox have these graphics that they make sounds. You know, when a team scores, like if it's Parramatta today, there'll be an electricity sound, electric eels. I don't know what the night sound is, or that might be the referee's whistle. But I acknowledge, and Triple M looking to get its pound of flesh, making sure we do this on camera so they can get their clicks too. I know best form of defence is attack here, and I've got a few things to say here.
Dan,
yes, Jimmy.
Dan, I was thinking, trying to justify this. Maybe you're so sidetracked. In a game featuring Royce Hunt, like you've got to
be careful.
You've got to be careful. No, but that's what I'm saying. You've got to be careful. That's where your head's at, and then all that you know that's all your distraction, and then you come up with an...
Can we play it again?
Let's play it
Can we
again.
play it again, please?
It comes away to Moju. Moju gets there. Moju gets there. Newcastle on the verge of mucking it up again.
Very close.
No, that's with a P.
I haven't said it. I haven't. It's the whistle or it's something, right? Now, I can only tell my side of the story, right? And that is, if you say that, Buzz, right, you know Jimmy and you know Gordy and Dobber, if someone says that in a commentary box, the other commentators are swivelling their heads like an owl. They didn't react. Cooper Cronk, Steve Roach, our tech guy Daniel behind, no idea that what it sounded like, right? So I said mucking. But I also accept that people here have heard what they've heard, and they're going to believe what they're going to believe. In this, I think Jack Howarth got the ball down in the grand final. Okay, and I don't care what angles the NRL shows me. You're not going to change my mind. So I'm going to acknowledge people are going to think, and probably justifiably so, I dropped the bomb. So yesterday I wake up. And so this was obviously the 6 o'clock game on Friday. I didn't hear a thing. And then I wake up yesterday, and Buzz, I'm a night owl, right? These boys know. I go to bed late, I wake up late. Anyway, full of messages. And I have no idea what they mean. But it all has the word mucking in it. And I'm starting to rack my brain. Well, obviously this refers to last night. I have no idea what was going on. But I've got a game to worry about. It's the first round of the season. There's a bit of study involved. Dragons, Bulldogs. I'm excited about that game. I'm now starting to get ready for that game. Anyway, my boss calls, Steve Crawley. I won't go into the details of the conversation, but he was very supportive. And we actually talked about the new AFL coverage on Fox for 10 minutes. It was hardly a concern of his, but he just wanted to let me know, Dan, this is what's going on. I know you didn't say the F word, but just, this is what's happening. This is the world of social media. And, until I'd heard that right there, I thought whatever was going around might have been doctored. But no, that's clearly what has come across on air sounds suspicious, and I accept that. I've done live broadcasting for 20 plus years. I've never said the F word live on air, but I understand what it sounds like. Can happen, but no, didn't happen, Dobbo.
No, I 100%.
Dobbo, you little bus driver.
No, I absolutely. I've heard mugging.
You're going to take me down a path here that I'm now. This is why I asked Dobbo to come.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
So,
You know
done
what,
by
Dan?
yes, Buzz.
Any publicity in my book is good publicity. As long as they spell your name right.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were going to plead the fifth.
No.
And just...
I didn't say it, but it sounds like I said it. So I got to. I find it funny.
I don't think it sounds like you say it at all.
No,
okay.
Play it again.
No, I've listened to it twice. I genuinely don't hear it at all.
You know what made me feel better? Because I didn't want to hear it because I knew it would be in my head. I had a big game yesterday, big atmosphere, wanted to be 100% for that. So I didn't listen to it, right? Because I could have easily gone back and found it. But then someone told me the Triple M Saturday show played it. Now, if they actually think I said it, there's not even Triple M. The balls of Triple M.
We wouldn't be joking about that.
Could play it.
No way.
So, story's done, right? It's by midday, everyone's had their fun. They're having fun with me. All good. It's all good. Then I'm driving to Cogger. I'm on the Princess Highway. I'm at the lights there at the Rockdale Plaza. I'm about 10 minutes away. I'm excited for this game. Phone rings. It's Peter Bedell. Right, who I've always got on well with. We came up together at the same time. He was working for AAP. I was here, and we've always had a great relationship. And he's apologetic to bring this up. Dan, you know what's going on. Can I get some quotes? Because it is a big story. And he's really sheepish about the whole thing, right? And he gets, and I just say, what I've said to you. I didn't say it. I can understand people thinking what they did, but I promise you I didn't say it. And that was the end of that. And that was the end of that. I parked at Cogger and I'm walking up. Now my mind's starting to work. Now it's in my head. Geez, this must be really bad if I'm getting calls from journalists. The only journalist, by the way. I didn't get a call from Buzz. I didn't get a call from Weidler. I didn't get a call from anyone except Bedell.
But I do have text messages here from a very excited Peter Bedell yesterday afternoon saying, I've just spoken to Dan Ganane, exclusive. He's spoken about the...
Well, everyone has my number, Buzz.
Yeah. He was very excited.
And I love Pete. And I got no issue with Pete. And he actually said to me at the end of the conversation, Dan, we're good friends, which we are. Between you and me, I think you actually said it. And I respected that. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I did, maybe I don't think I did. But then as I'm walking up the stairs at Cogger Oval, the fire escape there, it starts to dawn on me, Gordy, who are the Batman and Robin of Brisbane media?
Oh, come on.
Bedell and Dobbin.
Mate, I hadn't even heard it till then.
No one works the angles behind the scenes better than Ben Dobbin.
No,
mate, listen.
I have not spoken to Bedell.
I'm surprised the ambulance chasers are in here. They're not out here like filling sandbags.
Because Bedell didn't want to ring me. I could tell he was embarrassed to ring me.
Well, that's the act he plays. I can tell you now. I haven't even spoken to Bedell.
Well,
and Dan, I have always been rock solid, having your back.
Yeah, but on air, I don't think you said mucking clearly. I mean, doth protest us too much. I'm just putting it out there, Dobbo, that someone, a teammate, by the way, News Limited, I know we're owned by different people, but we're all now, we're still teammates. The one journalist to ring me as a teammate, and he's going to run a story to keep this thing going. Someone has egged him on to do it. That's all I'm saying. And
well,
again, no problem with Bedell. I'll talk to him anytime,
you know
any
what
place.
Bedell was looking for? He was looking for clicks.
Okay,
it was a big story yesterday.
I know it was, Buzz. Why didn't you ring? I would have given you the...
It's actually not a story.
Is it a big story?
No, but it's clicks. That's all that matters.
Why
are we on level...
No.
Jimmy,
but
why
isn't
are we
their
on
job...
level 14 right now with the cameras? So they can get their KPIs out there. Because that's what this game is all about. It's all about clicks. No, don't you start, Dobbin. Don't you? I'm on the offence today.
Hey, you're in charge now. You're in
Hey.
charge. Go and have a good afternoon.
Dobbo,
Best of luck
are
with your call.
Dobbo, are you going to invoice for this 15 minutes?
100%.
You're
It's
supposed to
another
be
hour.
asking
It's
the
another
question
hour.
before you
It's
ever-
another hour.
Yeah,
It's another hour.
One more thing. So you're about to ask, am I ever going to use the word mucking or mucked
Yes.
it up again? So it must be entrenched in my vocabulary because it is in my head. And I said to Mick Ennis, because the best thing, you've got to acknowledge these things, Buzz. I think it's fun. Everyone thinks it's funny, right? So I had to explain to Mick Ennis what had happened because he didn't do the game with me on Friday. And I said, look, this has become a big deal. When someone makes an error early, I'm going to say, now listen, it turned out to be Lachlan Ilias passed into the line. It was a bad pass. And Ennis was talking about the error. And I said, listen, can I just give you a tip, a commentary tip? Don't say he mucked it up. That's not a tightrope worth walking. Right? A bit of fun. Ha. That's the end of that. 2 minutes later, someone makes an error. You know what I said? They mucked it up. It must be just entrenched in my brain. So anyway,
word.
all a bit of fun. I didn't say it, but
that's as clear as mud.
Don't you start tell us. Don't you start tell us.
Don't you muck around with me, mate.
Yes, how are those? I had to do your 360 shift the other day. How are those sandbags
You'll be back
going?
doing it tomorrow.
How are those sandbags
You
going?
could be doing it tomorrow, Dan.
This is good for...
Dan, if I'm going to have a bet here,
Yes,
I was
Woody.
lucky to get into the studio, and it's been pouring down.
Well, I
rain,
told you.
so-
I said get the Comrex or whatever it is. Do it from home, and you said no. I'm 3 kilometres away.
Well, I've been waiting 3 years for a Comrex.
Anyway,
That's still going on. We're going to
Say
take a break.
Gordy.
We're taking a
See
break.
you,
This is
Dobbo.
prime time, and Dan will be back after the break.
See you later.
Shut up! The food is on Triple M. For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
At Triple M, we know life's expensive. Phone bills, power bills, random bills. People called William who therefore have the nickname Bill. You know, we get it. Now, Triple M's paying your M's.
The M's are paying your M's.
Giving you the chance to win free tolls for a year on us. And it kicks off tomorrow.
M's are paying your M's.
With Triple M breakfast and all day
Year's worth of tolls are on the M's.
on 104.9 Triple M.
No time to cook? What do? A, cry for help. Or B, tuck into a ready-made U-Foods meal. U-Foods tasty ready-made meals are delivered fresh. No prep needed. Just heat, eat and enjoy. Get your fix today with U-Foods.
Gym memberships, club memberships, they all sound so appealing until you see the fees. Well, there's one membership that costs nothing and it saves you money. The Flower Power Trade Membership. If you have a landscaping, gardening or construction business, Flower Power's trade membership unlocks amazing discounts. Your business can save up to 25% on our top quality plants, pots and landscaping supplies. Plus, we can deliver 7 days a week. Apply for your money-saving trade membership at flowerpower.com.au. They're garden people.
Hey, it's Chad Warner from the Sydney Swans. We'll be at the Entertainment Quarter on Saturday, March 29th for our Fan Day, presented by Volkswagen. Visit sydneyswans.com.au for more info. Come say hello.
Got equipment to sell? Ritchie Brothers helps you reach more buyers and get the best returns. With auctions happening year-round, we connect sellers with thousands of bidders from the construction, transport and agriculture industries. Sell with the best. Sell with confidence. More buyers, better results. It's that simple. Reach more, get more with Ritchie Brothers. Start selling today at rbauction.com.au.
What really matters to you? Aussie house prices? Or the latest from the White House? All the footy action on the field? Or all the drama off it? Whatever it is, we're all over it. Because if it matters to you, it matters to news.com.au.
Tools. Sydney Tools Back to Work sale is on now. Makita 18-volt 13-piece kit down to $28.99. Plus receive 3 5-amp batteries. Unimig welder combo kit was $12.49, now down to $10.99. Massive savings on combo kits, hand tools, laser levels, welders, air compressors and more. Milwaukee 12-volt 2-piece kit $5.29. Plus score an instant free impact ratchet. Sydney Tools, best prices guaranteed. sydneytools.com.au.
Don't blink or you'll miss it. The Snooze Flash Sale is on now. Half price on selected mattresses and bed frames. Hurry, the Snooze Flash Sale must end Monday. Exclusions, T's and C's apply.
Amazing what a little snooze can do.
Yeah, I was caught hooning around on my jet ski. Yeah, I was speeding. Yeah, I was caught riding too close to swimmers. I copped a hefty fine.
I lost my licence.
I copped my jet ski being seized. So if you ride recklessly, speed, or endanger others on our waterways, take it from me. You can stop it or cop it.
A message from the New South Wales Government.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M. Kareem Hot Water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
It was a whistle. Anyway, Triple M rocking Sunday footy, Melbourne versus Parramatta. Can you imagine the excitement among Parramatta fans, Jimmy Graham, if they caused what would be one of the greatest upsets of all, round one upsets of all time, if they were to knock off Melbourne down there?
Oh, it'd be huge, wouldn't it, Dan? Obviously, you know, a new era at Parramatta under Jason Riles. They've signed well with Lomax and the Fox as well, so plenty of things to like about Parramatta, but, you know, disappointment with that Mitchell Moses. But if you're in that dressing room, you're going down there to prove a point. Melbourne, in this round one record of themselves and Coach Bellamy, you want to go and prove a point and shock the NRL world.
All right, so that's coming up just after 4 o'clock Sydney, 3 o'clock Queensland time. But that's with Buzz Rothfield. Do this. The same theme they used on 2GB. Buzz, is that yours? Do you own the rights to that theme?
Surely 2GB aren't using it, are they?
No, when you used to do stuff for them, I'm sure they used the same opener.
My company's actually called What's the Buzz Proprietary Limited.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
I apologise. It's okay. You own the rights. Very good.
I like that jingle.
Do you?
Very, tropical.
It's from Jesus Christ Superstar, right?
Is it?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Yes,
We've learned something today. What's doing your first story today, your big one? You've been all over Channel 7 for a while now, having a little interest, or maybe more than a little interest, in rugby league.
Yeah, well, we're in Vegas last week, and I was in Peter Volandi's corporate suite, full of Channel 9 people and Fox Sports people, as you would expect. And then I look in the corner, and there's 3 heavyweights there from Channel 7. Brooke Hall, their Chief Content Officer, Anthony DeKegley, the Director of News.
I saw him.
Yeah. And Chris Jones, their Director of Sport. And I thought, so I went over and had a chat to them. They're going to launch their own rugby league show this year, mid-year, round Origin, going to go 10 weeks, see how it rates, live, 7+, 7 Mate, later on their main channel, with a view to stamping their credentials for a full-time weekly show next year, and to have a whack at the NRL broadcast rights. Now, this had to go to the most senior management there, because Kerry Stokes is a mad AFL man.
Yeah, West Australian.
Yeah, and no interest in rugby league, but he ticked it off, and, they're having a genuine go.
That's interesting, because Paramount had a real crack, if I remember, last time, Buzz, and I think they may have offered a pretty sizable amount of money to trump both News and 9, but the fear was they've kind of botched soccer. No one watches soccer anymore because it's sort of out in the wilderness. So maybe that's what Channel 7 are doing, saying, hey, hang on, we can be a rugby league station. What do you think they want? They do AFL, right? So
I think they want the lot. And
right. So they want what 9 has now, basically.
Yeah, but... Yeah, they want AFL and rugby league. They've got cricket as well. And, they want to become the sporting network, free-to-air television in this country. Peter Volandis did our last TV deal during COVID when we all thought the world was going to cave in. And, it wasn't the amount of money we were hoping for. Then the AFL came in and blew us out of the park. So we're playing catch-up football this time, and we're going to genuinely go to the highest bidder. And there's a bit of uncertainty at Fox Sports. The Zone have bought the company. That's right. They take over in 6 months' time. So all the clubs are sitting back and watching this very, very anxiously about where we're going to go. The fact players like Seven and Prime, as you said, a big American company, are showing interest is a very, very promising sign for rugby league. And, Netflix now cover NFL. They
do it well. They've had a Christmas Day double, and it was actually, to be honest, it looked every bit as good as normal NFL. And they do wrestling, the WWE, and I know, it's sports entertainment. They do it better than what the previous broadcasters do it, and that was a high bar. So their credentials are being stamped.
Even the NFL now is covered by 3 or 4 networks, and they share the Super Bowl every year. And at the end of the day, I hope it doesn't happen because I like it being settled on Fox and other free-to-air broadcasts, but it could be shared around. We've got to take the best deal that's out there, and if that means, 7, 10, doing a Thursday night, one does a Friday night, someone does Origin, it could happen.
It's an interesting one. Obviously, I'm big fan of the English Premier League, which is divvied up their rights package. And, one of the grievances of the fans is you've got to pay so much for each and every station. So it's not on free-to-air, so you've got your different networks that provide the content, provide the games in different time slots. That can be a bit of a grievance. I kind of like it the way it is, but again, we are a business, and we've got to look after that. Yeah. We've got to grow with it as well. I think it's great that what the players are producing, what the game is producing, what the NRL, the structures they're putting in play with things like Vegas, it's great to be wanted. Imagine the opposite end of the spectrum where Buzz is writing, we're struggling for suitors here. So it's great that our sport's in a prime position to be wanted and to grow the revenue streams of the game through our television networks.
Well, anyway, I've always said Sunday night was ripe. Now we're going to get a 9th game, make that a big, not just a throwaway game. The 8th or 9th game makes Sunday night a big deal, and now you've got a whole new package. The thing about Vegas, Buzz, which is seemingly a major, well, it is a major success. It all started as we're trying to break into America, which we're still trying to do, and it was a nice television audience this time that watched over there on free-to-air. But the thing that wasn't planned, but it's worked out, probably it's the greatest thing of all, how it launches our season back here.
The traction we get in Australia for that weekend is just priceless. It really is. And look, I was hoping over a 5-year period we would probably make some sort of footprint into America. Slowly but surely that could happen. But the big thing is we've destroyed the AFL for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Hardly anyone knew they were kicking off. Hardly anyone knew that there were no games in Melbourne. They'd planned 2 in Queensland and planned 2 in Sydney. And even from within, Jared Waitley, host of AFL 360, host of SEN every morning in Melbourne, has got stuck into them. He said, I'm over it. I was glued to Las Vegas, and he's an AFL guy. He just loved it. He said, I love State of Origin. I love their magic round, and we had to follow them in and call ours gather round. So when, journalistic leaders in their game are so critical, but talking up rugby league, it's a huge thing, and that's the momentum we're getting out of this Las Vegas.
Are we going to get...
Sorry, Buzz,
Gordy.
Mate, you've been in the game for, over 40 years. Yeah?
Yeah, I have, mate, yes.
Is Peter V'landys and Andrew Abdo the best administrator? So when they walk away in whatever time, hopefully not in the near future, will you look back and go, wow?
Gordy, I started out with Kevin Humphreys, and I've worked alongside all of them since. I had so much time for Ken Arthurson and John Quayle because they saved the game during the Super League war against the might of News Corp. They were wonderful, wonderful operators who did a great job. Then came David Gallup, who was, I thought, terrific operator. But having said that, the combination of Peter V'landys and Andrew Abdo tops the lot. I tell you why they're so strong. Andrew Abdo is a very conservative sort of dot your I's, cross your T's sort of administrator. And Peter V'landys is so adventurous, so extreme, and they're just this fantastic combination. And they're very much the reason for the fact our game is flying right now.
You know that I got the seminal moment that changed everything. AFL and League, it's Coke and Pepsi, right? Okay, one's number 1, one's number 2. You can work out which. They're both massive companies. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of food on the table for everyone to eat. But V'landys, rugby league always, Buzz, you'd agree with this, for a long time followed AFL through the 90s and 2000s. We were reactive to what they did. We changed our final system to marry up with their final system. They'd do things, we'd copy them because they were the undisputed leaders. Ever since Volandi's name, May 28, we're coming back on May 28, AFL has followed ever since that moment. He caught them on the hop. Magic Round, which we pinched from Super League. Let's not kid ourselves. They had Magic Weekend, but we've turned it into this thing. They created Gather Round. Las Vegas, their response was, we've got this silly half-opening round. Now, they had to cancel a couple of games this week, but we're going to go into Sydney and Brisbane's backyard while they're playing in America. They can't even get the weeks right. All the things that rugby league, now that rugby league is seemingly making the big decisions, and it's the AFL, who are still flying, I'm not saying they're struggling, but it seems now that rugby league is setting the agenda.
Guys, we're not only selling out stadiums and doing great jobs in Vegas, and you saw the theatre yesterday of 2 sold-out home grounds. What I really like, we could have gone broke during COVID, and you spoke about that special date that Volandi's brought the game back. But we now have hundreds of millions of dollars of assets. Our game is now safeguarded. Anything could happen, and we're in a really powerful position without having to go to the broadcasters like we previously had to get loans. And, you know, we've got a property portfolio.
Just to back you up on that point there about just how close you were to, who knows, the game collapsing. I was on a phone call, and coming off it, I was pretty dejected. During COVID, it was a group of the senior players from different teams, and it wasn't looking very positive. The outlook was bleak. I had to go and train with Tyson Frizzell. We were allowed to train together once at the Dragons, and I barely had the heart to train because I was dejected. So it was remarkable that we actually managed to turn this around. Just on, like, the whole Vegas thing of getting into America, like, it was never going to be an overnight success. These things take time. I said the example before of rugby union going to Italy and Japan. They were laughed at. It'll never take off there. And now you've got 2 genuinely competitive nations, but it takes time. It genuinely takes time. It wasn't an overnight success there.
Did Reedy say yesterday, Buzz, that they actually made money on it this year? That's unbelievable. The second year of this exercise, and it's a bloody expensive exercise, and they're now turning a profit?
Well, that's where the criticism was about the amount of money spent in year one. But, yeah, they either broke even or they did make a small profit. And I think it is going to grow. Their crowd went up 10% this year. It'll go up again next year.
All right, we've got to take a break. You got some more, Buzz, but we've got to take a break. We'll come back because we're not too far away. It is the Melbourne Storm and the Parramatta Eels to open the season at AAMI Park. Triple M with NRL Prime Time. We do it for Ream Hot Water and we do it for Macca's.
Shut up! The foot is on Triple M! For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
This NRL season, it's go Harvey Norman for the hottest deals store-wide. Save a super 40% off Samsung 8K TVs. That's right. 40% off in-store and online while stocks last, Dan.
Yeah, if you need a new laptop or a desktop, geez, I bought one a few weeks ago. I wish I actually went to Harvey Norman. You can score big savings with up to 20% off Acer and Lenovo computers. Plus, save an Australian-made bedding with big brand mattress stock price to clear, or mattresses stock price to clear, and get bonus standard local delivery on selected mattresses over $9.99. You know, that's such a sneaky thing. Not Harvey Norman, the others will get you on. They'll give you a little discount on the mattress, but hang on, you got to pay $50 for delivery, and if you want us to remove the other one, you got to pay $120. But look at that, Harvey Norman, free local delivery on selected mattresses.
Yeah, I might get in store actually for some of that bedding. I need some new stuff. Go Harvey Norman, best brands, best range, best prices guaranteed. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Sydney's Triple M breakfast.
Glenn Robbins. I wanted a G.I. Joe when I was a kid, and when we went to get the G.I. Joe, there were no G.I. Joes left, and I got a Ken doll.
Was he at least like a kind of army Ken doll?
No, just a straight Ken doll. And I got to say, when you're hanging out with your mates and you pull Ken out...
Thanks to Aussie Broadband. Aussie Broadband, the actual Aussie way.
It's Triple M breakfast.
Weekdays from 6 on 104.9 Triple M.
Get the new
Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra
at Telstra.
with the latest Galaxy AI.
Create,
have fun,
and feel smarter together.
with Australia's best mobile network.
Hey, big man, you're looking good in that work gear. Thanks, champion. The Traders 308 gear is built tough for the job site and won't break the bank. At Lowe's. That's right. High-vis polos start at just $20. There's cargo work pants from $60. Plus Traders 308 work shorts from just $40. If you're working hard, your workwear should too at everyday low prices. So get your Traders 308 workwear exclusively at Lowe's.
Saturday and Sunday, March 15 and 16. Head to the ACT for one massive weekend. There's so much to see and do, we can't fit it all in one ad. Hot air balloon rides in the mornings during the Canberra Balloon Spectacular, Pompeii at the National Museum of Australia, and Skyfire 2025 with dragon boats, aerial displays, food trucks and markets in the spectacular world-class 20-minute fireworks show from the best pyrotechnicians in the business, set to an incredible soundtrack. Book your trip now at visitcanberra.com.au.
An overly ambitious effort at six-a-side soccer left you feeling knackered? You need a sports drink that stacks up, even when you can't stand up.
Let's go, Maximus!
Maximus is for rapid hydration during or after at least an hour of exercise.
Go Harvey Norman for hot deals store-wide. Save a super 40% off Samsung 8K TVs. That's right, 40% off Samsung 8K TVs in store and online while stocks last. Save on big brand computers with up to 20% off Acer and Lenovo laptops, desktops and all-in-ones. And save on Australian-made bedding with big brand mattress floor stock price to clear. Plus, get bonus standard local delivery on selected mattresses over $9.99. Go Harvey Norman. Best brands, best range, best prices guaranteed. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Enjoy summer knowing your home is covered with Allianz. Winner of 2024 CanStar's Outstanding Value for both home and home and contents insurance. Allianz. Conditions apply. Before buying, read the PDS and TMD on our website.
This March, for the first time ever, the iconic Race of Champions roars into Accor Stadium. Motorsport legends from Formula One, Supercars, NASCAR and Rally, including Sebastian Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Jamie Whincup and Travis Pastrana, will go head-to-head in this ultimate showdown. Friday night, it's Nations Cup, country versus country. Saturday, it's every driver for themselves, racing for the title, Champion of Champions. Don't miss a second of the action, March 7 and 8 at Accor Stadium. Tickets at Ticketek.
Go on a Macca's run, pick up the mouth-watering new spicy chicken McWrap, and get all fired up for another week at work. But not too fired up. That would be unprofessional. Available 10:30am to midnight.
Shut up! The food is on Triple M! Kareem Hot Water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
Yes, good afternoon. Our thoughts are still with the people of southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. I know, Gordy, not as bad as feared, but it's still nasty stuff. I'm looking behind you. That's relentless, that rain.
Yeah. So obviously, there's the damage is still out there, but it's just a lot of rain at the moment, Dan, and it doesn't look like easing off.
So I see the people of Lismore, a bit of relief for them. They've copped an absolute battering over the years. You get a shower and it floods there. So apparently things aren't as bad there as feared. So anyway, that's good, and hopefully everyone else is nice and safe. Buzz Rothfield, James Graham here as well. Parramatta, Jimmy, there's high expectation this year that they're going to improve. They'd want to. New coach, all the noise coming out of Parramatta. They love this guy. They love his style. They love his communication. No Mitch Moses, though. And they're playing probably the hardest road game now in the premiership with Penrith. They've got their new home ground. So Melbourne and Amy's as hard as it gets. This is, if they cop a touch-up, is that damaging?
Potentially, yes. Because, look, when a new person comes into the organisation with perhaps a new style of play, you're looking for evidence that it works. Now, you get that evidence in your practice sessions against the reserve team and, to an extent in the trials, but it's live time now. There's no bigger task than the Melbourne Storm. So this really can sort of test your belief in your systems. Look, I like some of the signings that the Parramatta Eels have brought in, and I mentioned the pace guys before, and in Lomax and Fox that can finish tries for fun and score points for fun. But I think when I look at their pack from last year, too similar. They did the same things, and they needed a real hard worker, and they've got that in Jack Williams. I really like him signing. I think he'll shore up them defensively through the middle. There was times last year, and maybe you could argue it's the fact that they'd given up, and Brad Arthur had been moved on, but there was times they packed sort of just waved the white flag. But with a guy like Jack Williams in and a team full of optimism, you'd hope that they're going to go a lot better.
Gordy, what do you expect from Parramatta this year? Today is going to be tough. They get Hopgood back as well. That's a big one. He had that back injury last year. That's an Origin player. But you got Ronald Volkman, who's played 5 first-grade games. You got a brand-new fullback, Yongi, who was impressive in the trials, 1 first-grade game. But, it's a tough test for him as the rest of them. What are you expecting here?
Well, it's a new era, isn't it? Like, they had all those guys that had that crack. They got to the grand final and they didn't quite jump that hurdle. When Moses comes back, I think it'll be a hard-working, no-nonsense side. It's how the young kids come through, Dan. I think Lomax is a great player. Like, he proved in Origin that he's at that next level, so they got a bit of X factor, whether Dylan Brown stays. But I think they've got enough. Do you know what? I think they've got enough to trouble the sides outside the top 4.
What are you looking at here, Buzz? I'm looking at these two sides. Melbourne look awesome. Is this the best list now in the comp? Melbourne?
Well, it's up there with them, but you guys talking about Parramatta, and look, I look at that roster and the experience they're missing from last year in Gutherson, Moses, even Campbell-Gillard in the front row. So what that means is they need a new leader to step up this afternoon. And if Dylan Brown is worth anything like the $1.3 million the pundits are suggesting he is, and Newcastle think he's worth, he will be that man to step up, steer this side round the footy park and make it at least competitive against Storm. But back to what you were saying about Melbourne, this is a championship side. A lot of people are tipping them to go all the way this year because they've added Utoi Kamanu. They've lost no one apart from Christian Walsh's retirement. They got Wishart on the bench. They're just strong everywhere. And, look, I expect them to win and win quite comfortably.
All right, let's take a quick break. We got one more before Gordy departs and Buzz departs, and then we'll get stuck into the game. But a couple more stories from Buzz here that are worth chatting about. We'll do that right after this. Triple M rocking NRL primetime for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, and we do it for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia.
Shut up! The foot is on Triple M! For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Super M rocks footy.
Yes, Westpac is back and it's bringing the footy, helping you get closer to the game we love and be part of those feel-good footy feels.
Yeah, how good is it, Dan? From the excitement of the Westpac Red Zone with the latest and greatest plays from each round of the NRL and, of course, the NRLW to supporting female pathways, making a real difference in the women's game by investing at all levels, helping to shape our NRLW stars of the future.
Yes, Westpac, bringing the footy.
At Triple M, we know life's expensive. Phone bills, power bills, random bills, people called William who therefore have the nickname Bill. We get it. Now, Triple M's paying your M's.
The M's are paying your M's.
Giving you the chance to win free tolls for a year on us. And it kicks off tomorrow.
M's are paying your M's.
With Triple M breakfast and all day.
Year's worth of tolls are on the M's.
On 104.9 Triple M.
I've been off the tools for a while. You think you're bulletproof until you get injured and can't work. Thankfully, I got real income protection insurance before I hurt myself. It covers 70% of my income. My premiums are tax deductible and I didn't need a medical or blood test to apply. Search Real Income Protection Insurance and request a quote now.
General information only. Cover depends on your circumstances. Read the PDS and TMD at realinsurance.com.au. Issued by Hanover Life Re of Australasia.
Looking for an excuse to get into a Best Shed shed? Well, with 20 years manufacturer's warranty on all their Australian-made sheds, you don't need an excuse. You just need to head to bestsheds.com.au.
There's no shed like a Best Shed.
A person makes the time for what they love.
And we make the space. 1-800-GOT-JUNK makes the space.
We make the space for possibility.
The space for yoga.
The space for lifting weights.
The space for dancing.
The space for living your best life.
And what the does a person need to do to make all this happen?
All you have to do is point.
We make space for possibility.
When you want to make junk disappear,
call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1800gotjunk.com.au.
Don't blink or you'll miss it. The Snooze Flash Sale is on now. Half price on selected mattresses and bed frames. Hurry, the Snooze Flash Sale must end Monday. Exclusions, T's and C's apply. Amazing what a little snooze can do.
The LDV work van range. All kinds of work vans for all kinds of work. Vans for big work. Vans for green work. Vans for dirty work. Vans for even dirtier work. And now, introducing the newest one-ton van in the range. The all-new Deliver 7 diesel auto with a 7-year warranty from just $42,490 drive away for ABN holders. Visit a dealer today. LDV. Bring it on. T's and C's and exclusions at ldvautomotive.com.au.
When did food get so fussy? Liquid nitrogen, blowtorches, drizzles, foams. Try Every Plate's deliciously simple meal kits instead. Affordable 4-step recipes prepared in as little as 15 minutes. Every Plate. Get stuck in.
Oh, raining. I shouldn't have walked to work today.
Okay, drop off done. Probably should head to the shops.
I'm already running late. I'll just cross here.
Green light ahead. She's seen me. She'll wait.
Slow traffic. They'll let me through.
You can't know what others are thinking. Be aware, drive with care. A message from the New South Wales Government.
Great value internet? That's pretty good. But unbeatable value internet is even better. TPG will beat any eligible provider's NBN price over the first year, guaranteed. TPG. Offer available until withdrawn. Exclude NBN wireless. T's and C's apply. See website for more details.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M. Kareem Hot Water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
All right, only 15, 20 minutes at 4:05. Eastern is when the game kicks off. Melbourne Parramatta, the standalone game on this Sunday. Now, Triple M footy, for the last couple of years, we've been doing 2 p.m. games, and that'll be the case again this year. But obviously, the first few weeks, no 2 p.m. games. So we'll be doing this 4 o'clock stuff for a little while. And Sunday night footy. Next week, Jimmy, I see Canterbury, Gold Coast, Belmore. That'll be a sellout by tomorrow, game.
I don't think you can get tickets now, Dan. So any Bulldogs fans out there, don't message me. There's plenty of them. It happened last time at Belmore. That is the place to be.
By the way, Buzz, I'm predicting. Go, Gordy.
That's 2 lots of fans you've offended, Jimmy. Mate, the Wigan Warriors fans, you won't sign jerseys. Now you're telling Bulldogs fans, don't contact me.
Not for contact me, just not for tickets.
Buzz, I think you're going to write a story in the next few weeks how bad that turf at Homebush is. Did you see that? What they had on there, that motor racing?
Yeah.
Now they said they're going to clean it up in 4 days. Yeah. Yes, they'll clear the track in 4 days. The dirt, the grass is going to be dead. So anyway, I don't think we're back there for a few weeks. That's why.
What's wrong with Allianz Stadium? It was really poor the other night.
Well, it rained.
When the Broncos Roosters, but still it was just digging up like it's the first one. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Not good, Gordy.
It bucketed down just before kickoff.
Yeah, and it was underwater last year, remember? And there wasn't that much rain, but it flooded. And, it's an $800 million stadium. The sound system's no good there. I get people complaining to me all the time they can't hear. They need better speakers or turn the volume up.
By the way, South should have played that game there on Friday. It doesn't matter. Look, we just had to get the game on, and South made a decision. Let's just go to Combank. We don't want to. We've got the Swans on next door. I don't know why we have this attitude that the Swans own the area.
Another game, and I mentioned to Jimmy earlier, I know so many people who couldn't get into Cogwood Jubilee Oval yesterday because it sold out so early. Could that have gone to Allianz?
That should have been at Allianz. Remember the days in the 90s, right? St George, you were too early for you, Jimmy. Yeah. Gordy played in one of these games. St George played Canterbury. I'll never forget this. 1993, both teams were pumping. They took it to the SCG, horrible ground for league, and 35,000 turned up. Are you telling me if you don't put that game on yesterday, people were gagging for that game?
For a season opener as well.
At Allianz, Dragons fans were excited because the team looked good in the trials. Canterbury fans are pumped up because of last year. That's got to get 30,000 easily. Anyway, there was a rugby game yesterday, but they could have played it today. But I just hate that, Buzz, when we throw away. It's great to have sellouts, but when we leave people outside, that leaves a bad taste.
Well, it does. Look, we all love suburban ground theatre and atmosphere. But we're all looking to commercially improve our position as NRL franchises. And I think at the beginning of each year, they need to look more strategically at their draw, knowing this is a blockbuster, a fair dinkum blockbuster. Let's not turn customers away at the gate. I know a lot of people in the show who don't even follow those two clubs who would like to have gone but couldn't.
Yeah, with you, boss.
Imagine that today. Imagine Allianz Stadium, beautiful Sunday afternoon in Sydney, Dragons Bulldogs season opener. You're getting a monster crowd.
Well, you know, Canterbury have moved the return game. Who are Canterbury playing at South, isn't it? At Allianz Stadium later this year.
Oh, Manly. They're playing Manly.
For 95.
Yeah.
But see, that's strategic. That's too big for Belmore. It's better than a core with all the empty seats. They're making it a show-stopping, big event, blockbuster.
We got to get more games at that. It's a palace, and we can't be having seasons where we have 10 games there. Also, we have 30 games at Homebush, and we have 10 games at this beautiful palace that everyone wants. It's a destination stadium, and we don't use it. The Roosters play 8 games. We'll have a couple more games, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
Anyway, we're all on the same page. Quickly, Kangaroos. This is a great story you did here, Buzz, because it was a nice story, and I think people weren't even aware of this story.
Well, the Kangaroos, I think, are underpaid. It's all part of the CBA agreement. They're getting $3,000 per test match, and I've compared it to the Wallabies, who get 8 to 10 grand, the Socceroos, who get more than 8 grand plus a revenue share. The Australian cricketers get 19 grand a test, and look, I've got to take my hat off to the NRL players in that Tonga and Samoa and those nations and New Zealand are not in a position to be able to pay their stars, the Jerome Luais and the Stephen Crichtons and those sort of players, you know, any more than $1,000. So the RLPA got together, driven by the players, and said, for tournaments like this, let's share the revenue, which I think was bigger than.
Very selfless act.
Yeah, but
I think that's a great idea, Buzz.
Yeah, Gordy, you're saying playing for Australia, and we had this controversy when Ponga pulled out.
But I would have played for free.
Yeah.
So when you play State of Origin, right,
yep.
I would have played for free. So that's a bonus, right, because of the pie and because of the entertainment, and then they're well paid now, right? I think, mate, one of my first State of Origins, I owed money because I got jerseys signed, right? That would never happen anymore, right? And then I'd go on tour to play for Australia and it'd cost me money. That doesn't happen anymore. So, yes, it's not, you know, the same as soccer and all that kind of stuff, but I guarantee you Messi gets paid less to play for Argentina than what he does for his own club.
No, that's right too, but look, as I said, I think the players have been terrific the way they've managed this. There's a lot of growth to happen in rugby league as an international game. We're not rugby, we're not soccer, we're not cricket. And with acts like this, we potentially will get more kids, you know, wanting that jersey, because it wasn't really until Mal came back, every kid I spoke to wanted to play Origin.
Hey, Buzz, I tell you what, you should get how much an All Black gets paid. I think the Wallabies get paid about 2 or 3 times as much as them.
Is that right, Gordy?
Yeah.
That can't be right. The money the All Blacks generate, you're telling me they're not getting paid as much as the Wallabies?
No, I think they get a wage. I think they get paid per week on tour.
Wow.
Oh, like a central contract kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, well, we're about to say farewell to Buzz and to Gordy. Was going to do the game with us, obviously, but he's got some business. Are you going to be able to get home? I know you're only about 3 kilometres. Yeah. That street, is that Caxton Street behind you? It dead set looks flooded.
That's the Brisbane River, Dan.
So the Brisbane River is flooded.
The same. I was like, oh my goodness, look at that street in the camera.
Because that looks like the pubs at the start of
Caxton. Yeah, no, it's the other way, but there is a lot of low-lying water. So driving here, I sort of took a wrong turn, and the water would have been up halfway up my wheels.
All right, beautiful. So, good luck getting home and good luck with all the clean-up. Buzz, thank you.
Safe,
thank you for popping in today,
no,
Buzz.
It's been a pleasure, mate, and we'll chat a bit later in the year.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
All right, Triple M rocking the footy. The game coming up on the other side of this. It's the Melbourne Storm, the Parramatta Eels from Amy Park. Triple M rocking the footy. That was prime time for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia.
Shut up! The footy's
is on Triple M.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
Sport. Uncover well-kept secrets with Listener's lineup of investigative podcasts. Download the free Listener app and search Uncover.
Hey there, Ed Stevens Voice with you. To sport shortly, but first, flooding is now the major risk associated with ex-tropical cyclone Alfred. Tamworth, Moree and Lismore in northern New South Wales are set to be the worst affected in the coming hours and days. Wind gusts of up to nearly 100 k's an hour have also been seen across Brisbane. Craig Bellamy and the Melbourne Storm will be out to snag their 23rd opening round win in a row this arvo, the side hosting Parramatta at Amy Park. The champion coach says, though, anything can happen.
I think our pre-season has been pretty good as far injury-wise, but probably the thing that I'm not quite sure of is our form in the trials. The defence, wasn't great.
Meanwhile, Bulldogs skipper Stephen Crichton has been placed on report for dangerous use of his knees during their 28-20 win over fierce rivals St George Illawarra. And Melbourne United have stunned the Hawks in Game 1 of the NBL Grand Final Series overnight. The visitors clawing their way to a 96-88 win.
Kids, tell your teachers that Luna Park offers Sydney's best school excursions with unlimited rides all day. Visit lunaparksydney.com for more info.
31 degrees at Amy Park in Melbourne, where we're counting down to the Storm and Eels up next as Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M's We Have a Bus Tour got themselves a bus.
Yeah, you want to be on this bus.
It's not just any old wheels on the bus go round and round type of bus.
We're going to different pubs. We're putting on a cheap bus tour with us and listeners.
Ready to go.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Unreal. Can't wait. Triple M's cheap beer bus tour is hitting the road. Get on board weekdays from 6 and win your ticks. Thanks to Keys Limousines. Unique style stretched limousines, hire cars and party buses for every occasion.
More than just racing, an experience like no other. Be part of the Penrith Carnival of Cups on Saturday, March 15th at Penrith Paceway. Elite racing, kids activities and a trackside music festival. Headlined by award-winning rockers Birds of Tokyo. With support from Sarah McLeod and Brett Lee, Sixth and Out. Get all fired up at the Penrith Carnival of Cups, March 15th. Tickets are free and are going fast. Secure yours now at carnivalofcups.com.au.
With HCF's Thank You program, members like Diane get savings on movie tickets. And this ad to show off her acting skills.
Brad, it's you. It's always been you.
Oh, perfect, Diane. HCF Thank You, TNCs apply.
You know what's local as? Your favourite coffee spot. The neighbour who lends you their mower. And now, your energy provider. At Sumo, we're 100% Aussie owned with a local call centre. So when you need help, you're talking to real people who get what it means to live here. Switching's easy, service is solid, and your power stays sorted. No worries, no drama. Sumo, energy as local as your morning coffee run.
Get the new
Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra
at Telstra
with the latest Galaxy AI.
Create,
have fun,
and feel smarter together
with Australia's best mobile network.
Tools. Sydney Tools Back to Work sale is on now. Milwaukee 18-volt 10-piece kit now $19.98. Save $400 on a Daytona mobile workbench with 15 drawers and 3-door cabinet for $13.99. Massive savings on combo kits, hand tools, laser levels, welders, air compressors and more. Makita 18-volt 5-piece kit now $12.49. Plus score 2 free 5-amp batteries and dual charger. Sydney Tools. Best prices guaranteed. sydneytools.com.au.
Surprise Prize is back at Macca's with millions of instant win prizes, plus weekly draws to win 10 grand cash. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win. Ends April 1, 2025. For full terms and permit numbers, visit our website.
9 Now is your destination for everything footy.
It's rugby league at its absolute best.
The biggest matches every round. Streaming live and free. Full replays, extended highlights, mini matches, plus an unrivaled lineup of the best shows and podcasts.
It's the Footy Fans Dream.
All yours, live and free, 24/7.
What about that?
Your home of free footy and so much more. 9 Now.
New Zealand holidays are on sale and everyone must go. Whether you like screaming your lungs out or inhaling pristine air or something else, let me know. I'll find something for you. We've got heaps and it's all on sale. but only for a bit. Visit newzealand.com for deals.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
What an atmosphere!
Triple M rocks footy.
It's what rugby league's all about. Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Yes, the sun is shining at AB Park. Sounds like I'm talking through a pipe here, but anyway, now we fix that up. Very nice. Hopefully it's coming through loud and clear wherever you're listening. It's Melbourne Storm versus Parramatta Eels, and it's on in a moment.
Sorry, sir. Tickets for the footy are officially sold out.
Again? Oh, no!
Let Bottlemart kickstart your footy season with a chance to watch footy all over the world when you buy 10 packs of Bundaberg Original UP Rum and Cola for $48.99. Or a trip to Brisbane's Magic Round when you spend $20 on participating products like 30 packs of Great Northern Super Crisp for $58.99. You can expect more from Bottlemart. More deals, more range, more service. Enter online. Terms and conditions apply.
Bottlemart. There's more in store.
Yes, welcome to Sunday football on Triple M. Today, a David versus Goliath matchup. The Parramatta Eels start a new era. New coach in Jason Royals, and a new hard-nosed style of footy is expected, but their first assignment might be their toughest all season. No Mitch Moses and the Storm in Melbourne. The Storm, premiership favourites, and for good reason. The deadliest spine in the competition. They rarely lose at home, and under Bellamy, they just never lose in round one. Parramatta's had some unlikely wins here. Can they get another? This is Sunday footy on Triple M. So the Parramatta Eels not too far away from coming out. Hello to everyone listening through the Triple M network and the Listener app. I know some stations in Queensland are taking some cyclone coverage or ex-cyclone coverage now. And once again, for those just tuning in, we wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully just a little bit of clean-up is all you have to endure and nothing more. So Storm versus Parramatta. Jimmy Graham, they are the premiership favourites, the Melbourne Storm. Do you think this is the best list as it stands in the competition?
Just before we start, Dan, geez, you got me all fired up with that little speech. Jeez.
All right.
David versus Goliath. Wow. Oh, don't you just feel it? You feel ready to go?
You skim. Oh.
God, I wish you had given... You're wasted as a commentator. You need pre-game speeches. Just come in, interject, write a pre-game speech for the likes of Bennett, Hasler, Bellamy, whoever it may be.
I thought of doing that once a Sunday, as make it a Sunday thing. But the way you're looking at me, like the eyes, I don't know if you want to kiss me or maul me. I don't know what you want to do.
Both, Dan, both.
There, you frighten me.
No, it is. Dan, your assessment, the Melbourne Storm is the best team on paper. They got to the grand final. They're the only team in and around the top four, arguably, other than Cronulla, that have strengthened on paper with the signing and the acquisition of Stefano Utoikamanu. The spine just grows with experience, skill, deadliness, whatever you want to call it. They are the team to beat up there with the Penrith Panthers.
So Junior Barlow will lead them out. They're in a very yellow outfit here, Parramatta. They're the banana paddle pops. And good to see Zach Lomax good for Parramatta fans to see him in a jersey for Parramatta. I'm not sure Dragons fans seen the same way.
It's so yellow, it looks like it's got E numbers to make that colouring.
Here they come out to Amy Park. Pretty good crowd here on this Sunday afternoon. No AFL in town. And the Parramatta Eels get a muted reception, as you would expect. Isaiah Yongi in his second first-grade game, the fullback. Sean Russell, Jake Tungle, the wingers. Will Penasini and Zach Lomax, the centres. Dylan Brown, the 5'8", and Ronald Volkman in at halfback. Joe Offahengawe and Junior Barlaw are the props. Brendan Hands, the hooker. Jack Williams, the former Shark, is with Kilmer Tuolungi in the second row. Jermaine Hopgood returning from injury. Great to see. He's the 13. And the bench, Riley Smith on debut. Matt Dury, Charlie Geimer, and Sam Tuivai-Iti also on debut. So 2 players on debut for the Parramatta Eels. And good luck to them as they try and climb from near the bottom of the ladder. Almost took the spoon last year. Had to win the virtual playoff to avoid that wooden spoon, and hoping Parramatta that the future is much brighter in 2025. But this is an awesome team that's about to emerge here. Harry Grant leading them out. This is a very similar team to the side that was so close to the premiership last year. And Melbourne's record the year after losing a grand final is extraordinary, even by their standards. So each player grabbing one of the youngsters here who are lined up. This is a lovely touch. And now the kids have the crap scared out of them by the smoke machine. And here they come now. Ryan Pappenhausen, the fullback. Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates, the wingers. Jack Howarth and Nick Meaney, the centres. Munster and Hughes are the halves. Stefano Utoikamanu is a Melbourne Storm player, and he starts up front with Josh King. Harry Grant, of course, the 9. Sean Blood, Eli Katoa and Trent Liero. Such an impressive back row. Tyron Wishart, Alan McDonald, Tui Kamakamita and Lazarus Valebu make up the bench. This is an awesome side, and they are trying to win a 23rd straight game in round number 1. I gather, Jimmy Graham, you are tipping the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, absolutely correct, Dan. It's a difficult mission to go down to Melbourne Storm and get the 2 points at the best of times. But when really they're close to full strength, only Big Nelson, I feel, from the starting 17 that will be missing. Hard to see the Parramatta Eels minus Mitch Moses getting the 2 points.
This is an awesome crowd. They have come in. This is a Melbourne thing where they come in really late. The ends are full, but the sides are pretty full as well. There's got to be about 24,000 perhaps. Not quite full at the top of the stands, but it's a great crowd. And here we go. The final game of round 1 is underway, and it's the Melbourne Storm running to the southern end in this first half. And carrying it forward here, the Melbourne side with Stefano Utoikamanu. Boy, he looks strange in a Melbourne jersey. We'll get used to that quick smart, I'm guessing. Eliasa Katoa now carrying it up, and he is over the 10-metre line. Played to Grant, fires it left to Munster. Munster getting it on to Sean Bloor. Like Utoikamanu, a former Tiger. Very good run, gets up quickly. Played to Grant, they work the short side. Comes from Munster away to Howarth, and Howarth almost up to halfway. They are immediately in their groove, Melbourne, as Grant comes back here to Pappenhausen. I don't know how it's possible, but his hair is even blonder than normal. He's over halfway where he runs into the defensive Hopgood. Last tackle, it's Hughes putting it up and under up, and it's in the sun, so none of these will be easy, but it's a handy catch at the back by Jake Tungor, and he stumbles on this pretty, I was going to say slippery surface. It's actually a beautiful surface, but he slipped, and that just puts Parramatta on the back foot, as does Zach Lomax being driven back by 3 Melbourne defenders. It's an awesome atmosphere. Amy Park now a tough run down the middle, but Parramatta are just outside the 10. This is hard yakka for the huge underdogs here, as Sean Russell goes down the left side and is met here 20 from his own line. 4 gone. It's played across and given here across field to Offahen Gowie, and he stumbles into the Utoikamanu tackle. Parramatta can't crack the 30. They're under siege. Volkman puts boot to ball. It's not a bad kick. It's going to go into touch, but he could only muster about 30 metres with that one. And Melbourne will start this set just 10 shy of halfway. No score. Triple M rocking Sunday footy here for Ream Hot Water and for Maccas.
Yeah, Dan, what a start for the Melbourne Storm, both with and without the football. Their first set, the kick-off set, they're actually not afraid to shift the ball in yardage, which is a real strength of any side. Move the big men of the Parramatta Eels around, and then the kick chase was sublime. Defensive line speed, pressure, dragging the Parramatta players back towards their own goal line, and that's why they're on the ascendancy in the second set of the game for the Melbourne Storm.
Look like a team that's spent 6 months being frustrated about the grand final. King followed up by Utoikamanu. He makes it just beyond the 40-metre line. As Melbourne now into Parramatta territory on tackle 3. No score, 2.5 gone. Hughes on the left, on to Munster, giving it here to Bloor. Forward pass. So the call coming here, Wyatt Raymond indicating it's forward. Munster puts up his hand in an apologetic fashion. As we look at a replay for Harvey Norman, Hughes' pass was... Munster's pass was forward. So they were playing beautifully there, Melbourne, but Munster makes an error. So no score, and Parramatta, well done to them. They survived the first real raid, and they'll get this only 20 short of halfway. Triple M rocking the footy, no score, Beacon trade.
Yeah, just a little bit too keen there, Munster and Bloor. Munster puts his hand up and apologised, but Bloor probably just overrun Cameron Munster in a fraction there. So the Eels with their first decent opportunity to launch a midfield attack.
Yeah, the special guest sideline man with us this year. We'll go to him, Will Chambers, shortly. Highly qualified to be a sideline man, so that's an acquisition for Triple M, but we'll just stick with this here as Parramatta really struggling to work it out here. Offhand Gowie captured just short of halfway, 3 gone. Brown now wafting across to the right, gives it to Yongi, the fullback, onto the centre Lomax, and Lomax gets a very late offload. He was held there. In the old days, that would have been a penalty against Lomax. He and Munster get into a push and shove as Lomax now plays it 40 out, 10 in from touch right side. Brown turns it into Junior Barlow, and he carries it into 3 Melbourne defenders, and that'll get Parramatta to their last tackle. They're 35 out. They again go down the skinny right where Volkman puts it up in the air. Lomax coming through, and great catch here is over your Coates. Lomax is great, Coates is better, and Parramatta offside. So they've let Melbourne off the hook there, and Melbourne again will get some very good field position. No score. 4 minutes gone on the Beacon Trade scoreboard. Expert comments here on Triple M Footy for Seema Super, making hard work pay off.
Ill-discipline from the Parramatta Eels there. It's no need to be offside. Plenty of time to get the kick away and adjust your kick chase. Lomax obviously a big threat, but I think it was Hopgood that was pinged for being inside the 10. Can't afford to give silly errors like that away and give up field position to this Melbourne Storm outfit.
So Melbourne really butchered it the first time around here as it comes to King, and he's put down 49 metres away. Melbourne Storm here with Grant going left side to Hughes. Hughes getting it on, and then he gives it to, looks like Riero, caught up in traffic, and he's made the play at 38 away. Comes across here to Pappenhausen, keeps it going to Meaney. Meaney knocked over here, 28 metres out, strong tackle, Hopgood. Geez, they missed him. Parramatta last year as on the next play comes to Munster. Munster carries it into 2 defenders. Met on the 20, left upright, last tackle. Grant goes left side. Pappenhausen sees an opening, then gets a pass. Blocked there by Neil. Pappenhausen picks it up and scores. Very clever play by Ryan Pappenhausen. They were set to kick, but Pappenhausen saw a little opening and didn't panic once the ball was knocked back by the Eels. Melbourne 4, Parramatta 0, 5 gone.
Yeah, just too much speed in and around the ruck there from the Melbourne Storm. It's Pappenhausen that jumps into dummy half after Harry Grant had taken the ball on. Sorry, Grant passes it to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen with some fleet footwork. Grant jumps out to dummy half. Pappenhausen steps on the inside. He's got Bloor open. A Parramatta player knocks the ball down. Pappenhausen fails to react, but that's all about the speed of Grant and Pappenhausen. Brilliant stuff from the Melbourne Storm. Spine as they combine.
So Pappenhausen off and running. Do I sound tinny, Jimmy Graham? It sounds like I'm again talking through a pipe here, but that might be just me hearing that. So if you're listening at home, then you're hearing a bit of gibberish as Pappenhausen looks pretty happy with his work there. First try this year, and it belongs to Ryan Pappenhausen. As Melbourne, this is ominous. This is ominous. 2 chances, and they've converted on 1. 4 points to 0. Pertek kick predictor now is in operation. Kick is about 16 metres in from touch. 96% for Nick Meaney. Left side. Beautiful day in Melbourne. The lights are on, but that's just a waste of energy. Here's the kick. A goal. It's good. Melbourne 6, Parramatta 0. Triple M rocking the footy on a Sunday for Ream Hot Water.
Westpac's back, bringing the footy. From the excitement of the Westpac Red Zone to supporting female pathways, making a real difference in the women's game, helping to shape our NRLW stars of the future. Westpac, bringing the footy.
All right, so little change of microphone there. And now for the first time, we get to say, I can't believe he's sidelined. He's too good for that. Will Chambers, welcome to Triple M Footy.
Down here in Melbourne at the moment.
All right, we'll come to you in a second here, having a little technical snafu. Utoi Kamanu. Now we can come back to you. Welcome aboard to the station, mate.
Thank you. It's the boys have started really well. Melbourne, they've moved the ball really well early, and Parramatta actually looked quite fatigued early.
Well, they're being run around here, Will. There's no doubt about that. We'll talk to you properly through the game. Here's Munster now down the middle, beats 1. And hard to put down. Finally he is. Oh, he could have got 6 more tackles or a penalty there. The referee let Parramatta off the hook as offhand Gowie at marker drags down Grant, who went for a dart. Ball played quickly as Meany now gallivants over halfway. And he'll be made to play at 43 metres out. Played to Grant. Throws left on here to Jerome Hughes. Puts up a bomb. Contest. And coming down with a Jake Tungle.
Oh, no.
And now he's almost thrown into touch there. Coates mistimed his run. That was easier for Tungle than it should have been, but the young man did well.
Yeah, who's flirting with the sideline there. Parramatta really struggling to gain any ascendancy through the middle of the field with the yardage carries. But Melbourne Storm, that yardage shift, so dangerous. If you're the Parramatta right edge against the left edge of the Melbourne Storm, you've got to get up in the face. You've got to cut that shift off. Because Munsters gets a quick play of the ball, and then Harry Grant grows. Trent. A relieving penalty, Dan.
Indeed. So Parramatta, they needed that. 8.5 gone. They've been under siege. So Parramatta will get to boot this into touch. Well, let's bring you in. Like this round one thing, Melbourne's just been an awesome team for 2 decades. But is it actually a real thing of pride that Melbourne keeps winning in round number 1?
Yeah, I think it is. I also think that they always pride themselves on the hard work they do in their pre-season. They back their pre-season, and I reckon their 2 trial games, they were quite disappointed. So I know that they're out to make amends today, and it's not really spoken about as an organisation, but I know the boys take a lot of pride in doing it now because it's gone on for so long. Like it's.
Here's Hopgood, by the way. We'll come back to you shortly, Will, because Parramatta's on the attack. They're now inside the 10. It's been a good set. Hands throws it on here to Brown. Left side, Yongi dummies, not fallen for. Terrific tackle there by Meany. That had to be made, and it was just in from the left touchline. Comes across now here to Brown. High kick across the face of goal. Up they go. Howarth outbodies his opponent. Comes up with the ball, and that snuffs out Parramatta's opportunity. 6-0, Melbourne over the Eels. We're closing in on the 10-minute mark here on a beautiful... Tell you what, the East Coast being battered by rain, particularly up north, but a magnificent day in Melbourne. It doesn't get better than this as it's played now to Grant. He throws it on the Blore, and Blore working up the left edge where he's dropped down eventually 16 short of halfway, and gets tangled up with Kelma Tuolungi, and now Tuolungi laying all over the ruck. Harry Grant milked it a little. He fell down in a strange manner, but it had to be. It had to be a penalty there. Tuolungi just was happy to lay there like he was lying in a sleeping bag, and now Melbourne will get to go on the attack again.
Intelligent play from Harry Grant there, just goaded the Parramatta Eels to pick that ball up and get the penalty. I've got to give a big rap to Howarth there. One-on-one with Lomax. Brown's put the kick in that area. Lomax, we saw what he could do in the air, competing on every kick for the Dragons, the New South Wales team, and Australia as well. Howarth up to the task, but expect more of that from the Parramatta Eels as this game continues.
Error from the ball boy, throwing a second ball on the field. Come on, you only do that when the other team's on the attack. Josh King now carries it up on tackle 2. 35 out, Grant to Hughes. Hughes running downfield, slips a pass as he's tackled, finding Liero. Liero bumps his way up to the 20-metre line. Melbourne look great. 3 tackles gone. Parramatta will do well to hold on here. Grant, he goes left to King. Catch and pass Munster. Turns it into Howarth. Howarth puts on footwork. Takes on Volkman. Volkman and Lomax combined. Good tackle. 9 away. Grant away to Munster. Gets it on to King and he strolls over. This machine is... Well, it's in full bloom at the moment. That's an easy try in the end, but all the setup work was majestic. Parramatta's in trouble. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 0, and the kick will be a sitter.
Yeah, Dan. Will Chambers mentioned it early in the piece, just the level of fatigue in Parramatta to begin this game. It's not even 10 minutes old, and that is just too easy. Cameron Munster into the line, not really asking many questions, doesn't have too many options to play with there. It's King that runs a hard lead line, and Cam Munster just dishes the ball into him, and King goes over absolutely untouched after only 11 minutes of play. We were expecting a reinvigorated Parramatta Eels full of energy, but their middle and their ability to contain this speedy Melbourne Storm spine is just not there at the moment, Dan.
They could score 60 the way they've played.
And that's Munster into the line. turns a couple of Parramatta players in. He's like a magnet with the football. They've got eyes for him only. And then I think it's Jack Williams assumes the ball's going to go at the back. Munster just pops it up to King. He won't score an easier try in his career.
So Josh King, his 10th NRL try, and Melbourne almost on track with the clock. They've only had one tackle inside the Westpac red zone. 2 tries. Westpac bringing the footy per kick predictor 100%, and it's drilled next to the post. So Melbourne, 2 tries quickly. Will Chambers on the other side of this. 12 points to 0. Triple M rocks the footy.
Tradies, while you're backing your footy team, Beacon Trade's backing you. Fans, downlights and the largest range of lighting. Get what you need at beacontrade.com.au.
Discipline is really letting him down there. The penalty from Kelma to Alangi, laying around in the ruck, has given Melbourne an opportunity to go straight down and score. I think if they're going to keep doing this, Melbourne will put a cricket score on them today, but it's important that they sharpen up in their defence now.
All right, thank you, Will Chambers, on the sideline for us. For Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on Bridgestone, Yokohama, Kumo, Pirelli. BobJane.com.au, BobJane.com.au, T's and C's apply. So Melbourne in their groove again as King goes up the left side where he stopped and playing it now to Grant. Grant getting it onto Liero, and Liero chopped down. So Will Chambers, down to you.
I've just seen here, boys, Kelma Tuolangi's just been pulled from the field, so doesn't look like it was a HIA, but we'll go and check. But looks like Jason Rolls is already making moves.
The old hook has come out early, 13 minutes in. Now Hughes ventures to the left, finds Munster. Munster sees Volkman, wants a piece of him, runs, then gets a pass on, brilliantly picked up by Howarth down low. And Howarth is claimed by Lomax, but Melbourne on the 40-metre line. They're pulling out all the tricks. Now comes to Hughes, puts up a high kick. Thought some chasers might have been offside here, coming down 10 away. Excellent catch by Yongi. Now Yongi straight into stride. He did some very good things in the trials. One particular move was eye-catching, and he gets it up to the 20-metre line there. Good confidence booster for the youngster from Penrith. Now they go one out here with the ball played and followed up here by the number 5 in Jake Tungle. Melbourne 12, Parramatta 0, 14 gone. The only game on this Sunday to close out round 1. As they carry it forward through Russell, the winger. He's up to the 40, playing it. Now it goes from hands to Brown. Brown turning it in. And the man he gives it to there is Jack Williams, the former Shark. Looks strange in a Parramatta outfit. And we'll get used to that quickly. And his run is followed up by a kick downfield. Pappenhausen takes it, runs sideways left. Crisscrossing with Coates, runs sideways right. Now looks for an opening, finds an opening, beats one, beats another, beats a third. An electric run. Now he comes to the defence and is brought down. Oh, stand up and applaud, Melbourne fans. 35 away, full set to play with. It comes here from right to left. Hughes on the Grant. Grant gets it onto Munster. Rushing up there was Lomax, but Munster couldn't expose it and take advantage. Munster takes the tackle. King hits it up on the neck, flicks it out the back as he's met. Now comes to Hughes. Hughes bouncing his way to the 30-metre line on tackle 3 where he's closed down. Centre field. Grant now. He goes left across here to Liero. Underarm pass. Away it comes now from Grant to Munster. Munster to Hughes on the Pappenhausen. He's gone down the middle. Here comes another.
Oh!
He's butchered a try. Taken by Yongi. Munster was unmarked. Now Grant. On it goes Hughes. Hughes for the line. They got under him. He then manufactures a pass and loses it. Taken by Guyver. Fantastic Parramatta defence.
Wow, Ryan Pappenhausen. Munster completely unmarked. A 2-on-1. He does the show and go. Oh, Cameron Munster filthy. I think Jack Williams is down in back play here. Brian Pappenhausen, a break from absolutely nothing. Electric speed. Shows the ball to Munster. Goes himself. Ayungi just stands there and makes the tackle. But what about the break in the backfield?
Wow.
What a play that is. It was a poor kick from Parramatta. Straight down the throat of Pappenhausen.
Now Parramatta's running it on the last. And, Russell pokes in a kick. Paul, taken by Pappenhausen, takes it without breaking stride, runs over halfway.
They need a better kicking game here, Parramatta. They miss Mitchell Moses. Like, they cannot clear their lines at all.
Trainer asked for HIA stoppage.
Jack Williams looks like he's coming off for a HIA, but Parramatta, they just cannot get out their own end, and their kick chase is non-existent. With the likes of Pappenhausen, Coates and Warbrick, you need to get that fixed up as a matter of urgency, Dan.
That's a horrible last play. A chance to boot it downfield and at least make Melbourne start from deep in their own area, and Russell just pokes a short kick. Melbourne 45 out on tackle 1. They already lead 12-0. It's worked forward here. It's played now by the winger Warbrick. On the next, it comes across Liero to Munster. Shows it inside. Shows it outside. The pass hits a Parramatta player. Picked up by Pappenhausen. He runs. He's taken around the ankles 20 away. Played back now to Bloor. Bloor to Munster. Munster to Utoi Kamanu. He takes a tumble. And he'll be made to play it here. Still left side, 15 out. So many tackles left. But Utoi Kamanu knocks it on. Oh, what a gift. What a gift to Parramatta early in the count as well.
Clock on.
Yeah, he just slipped as he was approaching contact there, and as he stands, he just loses the football. He just loses his grip. A real let-off there for the Parramatta Eels. Under the cosh completely. Hardly in the game. Very difficult. 5-10 minutes previously from the Parramatta Eels. They need to manage their way back into this.
There's still people coming in here on this Sunday afternoon as Volkman feeds a scrum. It's 12-0. It could actually be a lot worse for Parramatta. As strange as that is that must sound 17 minutes into the game. Penasini on the left side is hitting it up, followed up by Kelma Tuolungi. So Williams' HIA brings Tuolungi on after he was hooked. Followed up by Offahen Gowie. He stopped cold here. And the tackle made 12 short of halfway. A line ball pass out of dummy half, given the all clear. Volkman out to Yongi. Yongi to the right centre, Lomax, and he's taken here quickly by his opposite there in Howarth. Good battle those two are having. On the next, it comes to Yongi. Runs to the halfway line. Pops a pass here to Hopgood. And Hopgood is stopped. That was a hospital pass. Hopgood did well to hang on to it. Last tackle, Volkman goes to the air. And that one at least is going to drop inside the 20, where Coates
great chase
is wrapped up ball and all by Charlie Guymer. Good chase. It's better from Parramatta. Good kick, good chase. Now, Howarth, he just works it out here to the 20-metre line. Melbourne 12-0. Pappenhausen with an early try, and Josh King as well. As now it's carted upfield with Melbourne playing it through Warbrick. Grant, short pass, Utoi Kamanu. Utoi Kamanu bumping Hopgood out of the way before Brown makes the tackle. Centre field here, the Storm running to the southern end. Grant, short pass. As Liero carries it the halfway. It's all about speed for Melbourne. Quick play the balls. And on the last, no adventure this time. It's a high kick put up by Hughes. Hughes then giving it to Yongi, another who takes a tumble. They're slipping at that end, at the Yarra River end of the field. As it's played now by Yongi. He's had some nice moments, Isaiah Yongi. And on the next play, a one-out run comes to a shuddering halt with Russell dropped like a stone, 20 short of, or 20 from his own line. Penasini gritting his teeth as he runs into the defence down the left side. Parramatta trailing 12-0 on the scoreboard for Beacon Trade.
That's a good run.
And it was the fullback Yongi. He's a big unit. He's a young man, but he's got some size about him. Now hands away now to Hopgood. Runs over halfway. He's tackled, but he flicks it back to Brown. Brown to his half partner, Volkman. Volkman, he then fires it along the ground as he's tackled backwards. Picked up by Brown, gives it to Lomax, and Lomax gets rid of it as he's falling, but they're going backwards here.
Dan.
And now finally the play comes to an end, 15 metres short of where it was.
Well, that's not a play 4 into 5 play if I've ever seen one. That just
Volkman
desperation, and Volkman kicks it out on the full. That's a really, really disappointing passage of play from the Parramatta Eels. And Yunga Yongi, with 2 carries in that set, looks really lively, really dangerous. Got to quick play the ball for his team. They shift, they fashion an offload that perhaps wasn't on, and instead of just accepting that the first one didn't work, they try and they try again. But this time they lose 20 metres. The kick pressure's on. Volkman hits it out on the full, and here come the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, you can't keep gifting them. They've thrown a couple away here, Melbourne, but you can't keep gifting them these chances. Starting inside Parramatta territory. It's just a couple of conservative plays to start here as Meany is met centre field. Grant goes left to Munster. Munster turning it in, stopping and propping at the line. Looks like the centre Howarth. He turns it back to Grant, but the defence is all over him. Ball played quickly. Now it comes across Liero. Liero at the line to Munster, holding it, giving it to Meany. Not panicking Penasini. Excellent tackle from the Parramatta centre.
Really good defence there from Penasini, one-on-one with Meany.
So the tackle made right side, 15 out. Now it's swung across to the left. Hughes onto the number 15, Alec McDonald.
Jesus, some holds.
The hand stays on the ground here. Last tackle, high kick from Munster. Coming down, and you go! Coates! Magnificent take and put down! Only Xavier Coates could do that! He has taken it a long way off the ground and forwarded his roll, done a forward roll, as I put my teeth back in. He has done a forward roll somehow mid-air to make sure he's got that ball to the ground before it went dead. Incredible, 16-0.
Yeah, I was saying there was some huge gaps in the Parramatta Eels middle defence. What a finish from Xavier Coates. That is absolutely incredible. Barely an inch of room to work with. He has a difficult enough task to catch the football, and he's got no room to get that ball down. He has no right to score that try. That is absolutely incredible athleticism, awareness. Wow, Xavier Coates, take it back. We've seen some great tries in round one. Not many better finishes than this, Dan. That is sublime.
Even by his standards, that's a magnificent take. That's above and beyond for Xavier Coates. The kick was probably a touch big from Munster because
it was.
Because Coates took it, a metre and a half from the dead ball line, 2 metres, and with all the momentum he had, it's impossible to do what he did.
Well, Dan, you're 100% correct. Munster kicks the ball too deep. You're usually aiming to land that about a metre out from the try line. Munster goes a metre out from the dead ball line, limiting the opportunity. But when Xavier Coates is there, who cares? Wow.
52%. The first difficult kick here for Meany. Pertek kick predictor. For reliable performance, turn to Pertek. They've been drama resistant since 1980. Here comes Meany. No. Starts it down the middle, but hooking badly. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 0. Triple M rocking the footy for Ream Hot Water. Will Chambers after this.
Pocket even more savings at Bob Jane T-Marts. Want a free Bridgestone, Yokohama or Kumho tyre? Buy 3 and the 4th tyre's free. Plus get up to $150 instant cash back on selected tyres. At Bob Jane T-Marts, they'll look after you. Visit bobjane.com.au or call 13 26 25.
What about the finish there? Xavier Coates, pinpoint kick from Munster, but that was amazing. But there's panic stations here for Parramatta. The way Melbourne are rolling down the field, it'd be panic stations up in the coach's box for big Jason Riles.
Well, not just that as well. It's the fact that they gift them that field position on multiple occasions. Now, you can't afford to do that against this Melbourne Storm team.
They've had 76% of the territory, Melbourne. 76% of this game, where the Parramatta's got the ball and Melbourne has got the ball, has been beyond halfway in Melbourne's attacking area. Now, here's McDonald. He goes, he brings energy though. He gets up quickly after his short run. Liero working the left edge this time. Bumps off one defender. Before he's brought down, Volkman drags him down. I think the referees, again, just been a bit kind to Parramatta there. Volkman should have been penalised. Now Sean Bloor has his arms free, ready to offload, but there was no one to give it to. They're just toying with Parramatta. Here's Munster wafting across halfway, showing it inside, throwing it out now. Here's Eli Katoa. Breaks away from Brown. He's got a man on his inside. Doesn't need him. Goes himself. Ankle tap, gets up, goes again without a hand on him, and the Dally medal winner gets over for a try. Eli Katoa makes it 20 points to 0. Some pathetic Parramatta defence in amongst all that, but that's an extraordinary bit of play from Eli Katoa, not panicking, and this is getting ugly already.
It really is, Dan, and the first up contact from the Parramatta Eels defence is not up to first grade standard. They are falling off tackles. They have no answer for almost the one-out carries of the Melbourne Storm coming out of yardage. They're finding quick play the balls. They're finding meets after contact, and they just allow Munster to dance across the field there. Shows on the inside to Jerome Hughes. That puts the defence in 2 minds. He just gives the ball to Katoa. He makes the break. Brown does a brilliant job to get back to stop the 2-on-1, but Ayongi probably not realising what's going on ahead of him. He sort of half falls for that dummy. Katoa He gets clipped on the ankles, but he's entitled to go again because the tackle isn't complete. And he reaches out for his first of season 2025. Melbourne Storm looking unstoppable at this moment in time.
Right, so tries to Pappenhausen, Coates, King, Katoa. Biggest halftime lead in the history of the game is 48-0. So we're miles away from that. And, boy, Parramatta surely aren't that bad. But, boy, there were some terrible missed tackles in amongst that try. As good as Katoa is, that should never have got close to the stripe.
It's the build-up work, Dan. They have no first-up contact here, Parramatta. It's really poor.
So kick here, 94% per kick predictor. That's better. 22 points to 0. Meany driving it through. So Melbourne competing with the clock. They're on 22. The clock's on 25. Triple M rocking the footy here for McDonald's.
For industrial products designed and tested to handle any kind of drama, Australians turn to Pertec, drama resistant since 1980.
On the back of what James was saying there, Parramatta, their right-hand side defence seems to be just giving Melbourne the opportunity to get the quick play the balls, and that's where they're building their momentum from there. And then just obviously the right-hand side fell off the tackles, but left-hand side fell off the tackles. Sorry.
Thank you, Will. Yes. Geez, they missed Moses. Just the control and the patience of him and kicking into corners just to get into some sort of rhythm. Parramatta now, again defending. That's all they've done in this game, it seems, as Melbourne carry it forward. Where it's played here by Katoa, the try scorer. Comes left here, the other second row getting a piece of it. Sean Gore, he's looked sharp. Fifth run, claimed 20 short of halfway. Grant wheeling and dealing. Throwing a pass to Lee.
Ball off tackles again.
Bumps off a tackle easily. Comes across to Hughes after that offload. And now Hughes dishing off for King. And he's met 10 short of halfway. This is a conservative set, but they're still rolling. Munster dummies, and he's got a gap. Then the early ball to Howarth. They're lining up. Coates is waiting on the inside. Long pass. Comes to Coates. Try time.
What was that record, Dan?
It's exceptional rugby league. 48-0. It's not 48-0 yet. It's going to get there the way this is going. The only question is it before or after half-time? Oh, this is cruel for Parramatta. This is not the team they want to play first up, and they're playing terribly. Melbourne 26-0.
They are, Dan, and you mentioned about Moses, who adds to the end of set and the kicking game and the organisational skills, but defensively they are so off. Will Chambers said about the left and the right, the right-hand side just has no contact. There's no stick in the tackle. They're disjointed. Half of them are coming out of the line. They're creating pockets of space for the speed of Pappenhausen and Munster to exploit. Take nothing away from this Melbourne Storm attack. It is scintillating. Grant, Munster, Pappenhausen, all causing drama. That's great work from Howarth, by the way, who somehow finds a pass. There's a lot of traffic there. In and amongst the chasers, trying to get back and help out. He finds Coates. That was classy from Howarth, but still, Parramatta, some real defensive issues.
So now a kick at goal to level up with the clock. So lock it in. Craig Bellamy, 23. Let's give him the 2 points now and just say Craig Bellamy's now got 23 straight round one wins. 26 the lead. I asked you this on the show a little earlier. How much scarring does this do? We'll talk about that after this kick and after we cross to Will Chambers. Because all that work in the off-season is being unravelled here. The kick is good. 28 points to 0 after 28 minutes. This must be sensational to watch on the sideline, Will Chambers.
Yeah, it is. It's very exciting. The Melbourne Storm are moving the ball around really, really well. But the issue that I find very interesting is Parramatta have just made their first change with their ruck forward. Joe Offengowi's come off, and Junior Paulo's still out there, and Hopgood. So I'm not sure if it's because they don't have the troops on the bench, but yeah, it's very interesting.
Nice observation. You've got to think those forwards out there are pretty cooked at the moment because they've done defending and very little else.
Well, Parramatta have just kicked off to the other side of the field. I think they've had 5 or 6 kickoffs, and they've gone to their left. Finally, they've gone to their right. I think that's to try and help shore up the shift option to the Melbourne Storm left edge. But again, the first up contact just falling off tackle.
And then they've got to deal with Kamikamitha, who's just come off the bench. That'd be human. And Melbourne now rolling. Coates with a double, by the way. Coates with a double. 3 is the season lead. Cobbo did that. We had yesterday, Tui Pilotu. Coates will be in front by the end of the day, the way this is going. Oh, McDonald hammered in the tackle. That's better. Bit of brutality in that tackle from Paolo in particular. Last, Melbourne complete. High kick from halfway. Hughes. It's coming down. Yongi taking it 10 out from his own line. It feels like a while since Parramatta's had it. Yongi goes nowhere. Another player taking a slip in that part of the field. 28-0 after 29 minutes. There's now Russell rolling his sleeves up and running into 4 Melbourne defenders. Played here in a short side play. Oh, a dead set forward pass from Dylan Brown down the blind, but not seen or not ruled on. Penasini, the recipient. Now running out of dummy half, it's Riley Smith in aqua headgear. So the man on debut in the game as he feeds it on now to Barlaw, who's put down quickly or stopped quickly. Volkman to the right away to Brown. Brown has a run, and he's knocked up and knocked down 45 away. So a decent set for Parramatta as Volkman puts up a very big kick here. That's pretty good. It's coming down inside the 10, taken to Pappenhausen, who's been electrified. He then draws in 2, gets it out to Coates on the left wing. Coates takes on Lomax. Lomax barely holds on and needs the help of Volkman. And yet again, Melbourne get off to a terrific start. As now, it's Howarth driving it forward. They're only just shy of halfway, 28-0.
Well, how intelligent was that from Ryan Pappenhausen? Recognised that Lomax chased, which left a gap in the line because he's out there on his own chasing that kick. And he just puts the afterburners on, goes to the space that Lomax had vacated, and the Storm come again.
Munster away to Meany. Here's another. Grant on the inside. See you later. They're into the 30s. The record's in play.
I thought it was coming down.
No, we're resting up for a while. The record is in play. 48-0 is the greatest lead in the history of our game. Andrew Johns against the North Queensland Cowboys a long time ago. And it's now 32, and Parramatta are shot to bits, 32-0.
And unfortunately, it's just far too easy for Melbourne Storm. This is a training run at best. Like, players are just offering up opportunities left, right and centre. I don't know what the Parramatta defensive system is. Look, we spoke about it in the build-up. No Moses, but they've been working all off-season. Excited to see their new style of football, their new defensive systems, but it's non-existent. This is clinical from the Storm. Let's not shy away from that. The Melbourne Storm masterclass right here, and the speed, deception, and everything that this best in the competition spine bring. But still, the Parramatta Eels, they're making it easy for an already advanced team. Wow.
Got to check it. I think it might actually be 48-6, the halftime lead record. Anyway, Harry Grant, who has an incredible record against Parramatta in terms of tries, he now gets on the board. So they have 5 separate try scorers. So Grant gets over. And how many tries? Yeah, 6 tries. Can't keep up. 34 points in 31 and a bit minutes. 34-0. It is I'm sorry, Parramatta fans. It's horrifying for you. But it is actually sparkling footy. Beacon Trade scoreboard. Down to you now. Will Chambers on the side.
Jack Williams has been cleared of a HIA. He's just come back on the field. And if it already wasn't hard enough for Parramatta, young Tyrone Wishart's come on for the Storm. So their big ruck forwards are going to have to worry about the little man getting in and around the ruck.
Jeez. Thank you, Will. Going all right, Will Chambers, isn't he? Good observations Excellent. On the sidelines.
I wonder if he's doing any sledging down there.
He doesn't hit. There's
Alec McDonald.
Now, he drops the ball behind him. It should have been a knock-on, but he actually hit it a second time to make sure it went back. That's as bad as Melbourne have started a set all day, fallen on albeit by Wishart. Now, Kamikamitha skittles a couple out of the way, but just barely over the 10 here. Played to Grant. Grant getting it on. And now, is this Wishart? Jeez. He's put on some size in the off-season. Good, strong run from him. Plays it now as it comes to Munster, turning it infield. And the tackle completed here with Howarth. short of halfway. Wishart up in the line, along to Hughes. Hughes out now to Meany. Oh, Meany drew in defenders, did the hard stuff, and then the ball slipped out of his hands as he was looking to bring in Warbrick.
He was caught in two minds there, Nick Meany. I think he was looking to head towards the sideline and drop Warbrick underneath. Warbrick sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. He stays on the outside, then looks to come inside. But the ball movement of the Melbourne Storm causing absolutely all sorts of dramas for this Parramatta Eels defence. They get a bit of respite and get the ball in some good field position.
7 to go in this first half. 34-0. Volkman runs into the line, gives it to Brown. Brown keeps it going. Tuolungi on the left edge is met and put down. 25 away. Play back here to Riley Smith onto Brown. Oh, 6 more tackles. So Melbourne infringing there as it comes out further to the left to Yongi, the fullback. He's put down here primarily by Grant and also Meany. A hit up down the middle here gets Parramatta close to the 10-metre line. Very few chances they've had. Ball played by Dury. Now it comes from Smith, Riley Smith. And outside, inside is Hopgood. He almost drives it all the way to the line. He's met in front of the post on tackle 3. Played to Smith. Smith gets it on. Right foot step Volkman. Right foot step again. Defence doesn't panic and they bring Volkman down 3 metres out. Now Smith throws a wild pass left and now it's intercepted and this could be another Melbourne try. That is pathetic stuff. It's Nick Meany down the side, down the middle he goes. He's being chased by Russell and that's horrible from Parramatta. Meany scores. 40 is a few moments away. Look, the young kid threw a bad pass, but the lack of urgency once the ball hit the ground was noteworthy. They are completely shot. 38-0.
Is there a mercy rule in rugby league? Dan, this is
Jimmy
soul destroying.
I did the Jillaroos last week.
Yeah.
That was 90-4. That score is in play right now.
I'm with you. This is soul destroying for the Parramatta Eels. Like, this could have a huge effect on them in the long run. With a pre-season full of hope, full of new ideas, start to build belief, and it just is being crumbled here. Nick Meany, opportunistic. He had no right to be faced to that ball. No right to be faced to that ball, but he just saw an opportunity. Saw that no Parramatta player was willing to dive on that bounce pass. That's a Parramatta ball. They should regather possession there.
Yeah, it's a bad pass, but my goodness, there's Parramatta blokes everywhere.
It's a bad pass, granted. It hits the floor. But the next person on top of that should be a Parramatta player.
So, 7 tries. And we'll be checking the record books furiously. But this is actually... I don't want this to sound insincere, Jimmy, because Melbourne, this is wonderful to watch. It's actually sad what this has become. It's actually sad to see Parramatta crumble like this.
It is.
Big Nelson on the big screen. He's suspended, isn't he? He's still a little while away. God, imagine the destruction he could do this afternoon. So a kick at goal now from Meany. Gee, I'll tell you what, he's going to be leading the point scoring in the NRL after today. He's got a try and he's got another goal. 40 points to nil. 40 points to nil, 36 minutes in. I don't know what he can say, but Will Chambers, we go down to you on the sideline.
I think a bit on what James was saying. It's Parramatta should be diving on every loose ball, and it's starting to get a bit embarrassing for him out here now. And I just think that's what Rolls will be disappointed with. They've had a hard pre-season. They're all saying they're fitter than they've ever been. So those sort of little things, they're the 1%ers that make you a great team, and it's something that they need to take in.
Thank you, Will. 48-0, I'm confirming, is the biggest half-time lead in the history of the game. So they need 2 tries in 4 minutes to get that. Even the very...
Alex McDonald.
Parramatta pick it up. Surely now, as it comes from Dory. Gets it on. And it looks like Hopgood has claimed 6 away. So Parramatta, what a chance here. Ball played. As now it's Williams back on the field who plays it. Now he's clutching at a hamstring. As on the next play, the other second rower, Tuolungi gets it and he's knocked over. So Parramatta, can they finally get on the board? Smith dummy half on a on the start of a new set here after another infringement from Melbourne, and it's a one-out play as it's Brown now, centre field playing it. Now Hopgood carries it forward. All one-out stuff here for the Eels. Kamikamitha involved in the tackle. Played to Smith. Short pass. Crash play. Dury is over, but he doesn't get it down. So this is as much defending as Melbourne have had to do all day on their line after that Alec McDonald error off the kickoff. And Parramatta on tackle 3 will get play the ball here on the 10-metre line. Riley Smith goes himself here, got closer than he should have, but the marker Kamikamitha tails him the whole way, eventually makes the tackle. It's played back now and thrown left where it comes to Brown. Brown deep pass Yongi, no look past Lomax on that left side this time. He keeps it going as he throws out to the wing at Russell. Russell runs out of the room, turns it inside to Penasini. Not happening for Parramatta. Penasini tackled 10 away. Last, they must get something here. Brown, just for their well-being. Up they go. Yes, they've scored. Great catch, Jake Tungle. He was the only one to go up, and Parramatta, they stem the flow, even if it's for a couple of minutes. 40 points to 4.
Yeah, not much to celebrate here for the Parramatta Eels. Zach Lomax has moved from the right side to the left, trying to spark some attack. But Brown goes back to that spot where he'd usually be. And Howarth, he's just sat there waiting for the ball to come down to him and get a 7-tackle restart set. But Tango had other ideas. He just sneaks in front of Howarth. Howarth looks perplexed. Coach Bellamy will not be happy with that one. After the error from Alec McDonald, the Melbourne Storm did a great job defensively. The Eels did throw a fair bit at them, but they clocked off on last play, just assuming their job was done, and Howard thought all he had to do was just take that ball in. Tango had other ideas, and they're on the board, Parramatta, but no celebration whatsoever.
No, as we look at a replay for Harvey Norman, a pinpoint kick from Dylan Brown, but the chase was excellent, and yes, strange from Melbourne. No defence at all back there. Confusion.
Munster holds his hands up as if to say to Jack Howarth, what are you doing? Why don't you jump and compete for that ball?
Yeah,
he just literally had his feet on the ground, was just looking to usher that ball into his arms. Tango caught him by surprise.
So here's Lomax. That takes away one of the most cliched questions for a post-game. Is your coach happy with the 78 points or the nil? 40 points to 6. I hate that question. You know the things that just annoy you, Jim? I know you have a lot of things that annoy you.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that annoy me. Because you know what they're going to say. It's, he'll be happy with the nil.
Yeah.
I'd just love once a player to say, you know what, I reckon he's pretty happy with the 13 tries we stacked on him.
It would be refreshing, wouldn't it? You know what, we only let one in. Come on.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, like Manly and Cowboys yesterday. Like, will the coach be disappointed with those 2 tries from the Cowboys? Nah.
Who was the most impressive team of the weekend? Now, Brisbane, to me, set a mark that hasn't been reached, but boy, Manly got close.
Well,
and I know.
Yeah.
You expect this, though, from Melbourne.
It's an interesting debate on who is the most impressive team of the round.
So,
we forget the Canberra Raiders as well. Round 1, they dominated proceedings against the Warriors.
That's right. Riley Smith, dummy half. Getting it on now to Dury. 40-6 with a minute to go in this blistering first half. Kilmer Tuolangi,
they've knocked on.
Messed up, and you're not going to believe it. A scrum will pack after the ball's lost. 40 seconds to go. Melbourne are going to quickly pack this.
Try off the scrum.
And they're going to... Jimmy's given up, everyone. Jimmy has given, you're heartbroken here, Jimmy. Not supporting Parramatta.
I thought we were in for a contest. I really did. I thought maybe the last 20 minutes Melbourne could run away with it, but with the speed and execution that they're playing with, barring a couple of boo-boos, and they look so dangerous. Here we go.
All right, from the scrum, it comes outside, inside. Pappenhausen strolls through and scores.
Told you.
As slick as it is, it's awful defence. 44-6. It's got to be the greatest half in Melbourne Storm history. We'll have to check in terms of first half lead. amount of points. Pappenhausen gets his second, so Coates 2, Pappenhausen 2, Meany 1, Grant 1, King 1, Cartel 1. Stop, they're already dead. 44-6.
Yeah, this is a beautiful little play from the Melbourne Storm, well orchestrated from the base of the scrum. One of the best positions to attack from, and obviously with time running out just before half-time, Melbourne put that play on really quickly. They don't muck around and waste plays and just build a play. They just go from the base of the scrum. Jerome Hughes with a nice little fade out gets the ball from the base of the scrum. Ryan Pappenhausen trailing up on the inside of Jerome Hughes, and he's just got too much pace for the fatigued back rows who are breaking from the scrum.
Jimmy, I'm going to plant a seed. They didn't get the half-time record and points scored and biggest lead. The greatest score in the history of our game is 91-6. Now, at some point they're going to stop this run, but they're halfway there, Jimmy. They are on track at half-time for the greatest score.
I have to do some maths there.
46 times 2, yes. That's now that's 3-point tries, and we're 4-point tries.
Yeah.
But and the kick is good, 46-6. A final comment from Will Chambers before we have the halftime break. Down to you.
That was one of those plays that they would have practiced all pre-season, and they finally got to get it on. You know, the boys were quick to pack that scrum, and it was unbelievable in the end. Paps' speed, Jerome's ball playing, and it all worked out well.
A simply incredible first half. Parramatta have been devoured. Melbourne 46-6 at half time. Triple M rocking an extraordinary opening Sunday afternoon here as we do it for Ream Hot Water and for Macca's.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
Tradies, big jobs, small jobs, tough jobs. Beacon Trade's got the lighting, fans and electrical to get it done. Join up at beacontrade.com.au.
Sydney's Triple M breakfast.
What gives you the ick?
A slit in the eyebrow. It's okay if you've got an eyebrow ring, but not if you've got nothing there.
Hang on. It's okay if you've got an eyebrow ring.
Yeah.
How is that okay?
Because that goes where the slit is. So you think an eyebrow ring's an ick?
It's not an ick, but you've got balls doing it. Then if you've got on the other eyebrow a slit in it, mate, you don't care about anything.
Thanks to Aussie Broadband. Aussie Broadband, the actual Aussie way.
It's Triple M breakfast.
Weekdays from 6 on 104.9 Triple M.
I love my NRL on KO.
Nico Hines.
Yes, Braith.
More enthusiasm. KO has every game of every round live with no ad breaks in play. Let's try again.
KO, get on board.
That's better.
Sorry, sir. Tickets for the footy are officially sold out.
Again? Oh, no!
Let Bottle Mart kickstart your footy season with a chance to watch footy all over the world when you buy 10 packs of Bundaberg Original UP Rum and Cola for $48.99. Or a trip to Brisbane's Magic Round when you spend $20 on participating products like 30 packs of Great Northern Super Crisp for $58.99. You can expect more from Bottle Mart. More deals, more range, more service. Enter online. Terms and conditions apply.
Bottle Mart.
It's more in store.
The long discussions. Should we? Shouldn't we? Then the decision. It's time to sell this place. Now you have to take a leap of faith and find an agent. If you don't know how to evaluate the right agent to sell your home, you're not alone. But localagentfinder.com.au can help. With localagentfinder.com.au, you'll find an agent who understands your needs and wants to get you the best result possible. Compare and connect with the right agent at no cost. Search Local Agent Finder.
Spending too much time in the shed used to be an issue. But with IMAR's new loyalty program, aptly named The Shed, I can now spend as much time in the shed as I like. You see, The Shed gives tradies insured with IMAR cashback rewards from heaps of brands, like Toolmart, Pet Barn and JBL. So now that my business is insured with IMAR, I can enjoy great cashback rewards. Visit imartheshed.com.au.
The tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
Yeah, I was caught hooning around on my jet ski. Yeah, I was speeding. Yeah, I was caught riding too close to swingers. I copped a hefty fine. I lost my licence. I copped my jet ski being seized. So if you ride recklessly, speed, or endanger others on our waterways, take it from me. You can stop it or cop it.
A message from the New South Wales Government.
Surprise Fries is back at Macca's with millions of prizes to be won.
I want a year's worth of DoorDash.
$1,000 on sale gift card.
I won a free Big Mac.
Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win. Ends April 1, 2025. For full terms and permit numbers, visit our website.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
Tradies, big jobs, small jobs, tough jobs. Beacon Trade's got the lighting, fans and electrical to get it done. Join up at beacontrade.com.au.
All right, what a 40 minutes that was. And you're not going to believe this, Jimmy. It's only the equal of Melbourne's biggest lead at halftime in a game. 46-6. That is the score right now at Amy Park. 8 tries to 1. And they've scored so many tries, the stats page in front of us has pooped itself. So we can't see. I know Coates scored a double. I know Pappenhausen scored a double. What is there to be said, Jimmy? Because you, all last year, and you were proven right, you said the Brisbane Broncos are in mourning from the grand final, right? And it carried all the way through their season. So you know all about scarring. What does this do to a team, a round one shellacking like this? There would have been hope, new coach. We've heard nothing but great things about Jason Riles and what he's brought to the club. What does this do?
Well, they've sort of slid under the radar a little bit, the Parramatta Eels, for this pre-season. And, you know, with the acquisitions of Lomax, the Fox, Jack Williams, new coach, new ideas, I think they give Parramatta Eels fans a little bit of hope going into this year. But when you think about defensive systems, it's just been non-existent, Dan. Like, they're going up by themselves. They're not connected. They're not shoulder to shoulder. They're creating opportunities by someone moving up, someone not moving up. They've got no dual contact. They can't control the run. They're conceding quick play. They're also conceding offloads. They're conceding line breaks galore. Like, look, granted, there's probably no tougher task in round one to go down to the Melbourne Storm on a sunny afternoon, on a Sunday, and come away with the points. But you'd like to see a little bit of fight, and obviously with no Moses, no Fox, you would like to see them. You'd accept a well thought out game and a Melbourne victory, but just to be blown off the park from almost the very first set.
Yeah.
This is worrying signs.
8 line breaks, 8 tries. There is not a single stat there that is kind, and this will sound weird to say for a team up 46-6. But Melbourne butchered a couple as well. 5 errors. And they've been, let's say, 95%. They haven't been 100%.
No.
And they might be 100% in this second half. That's the scary thing.
I use the phrase a little bit of a training rundown. It's almost like an unopposed training drill. Like, this is the Parramatta Eels defensively. It just when Josh King went over in the second try of the game, he was completely untouched.
Yeah.
So this isn't like these tries were creeping in towards the back end and fatigue had set in. They're really, when King went over hit for his try, there shouldn't be any fatigue in that defence. There really shouldn't. They should be resilient enough to withstand a couple of attacking plays from the Melbourne Storm, but Munster into the line, pretty much only one option, which was King. Gives him the ball and he literally goes over untouched. It's the type of try you score when you're doing touch football training.
All right, Choice Hotels bring us all the stats. Choice Hotels gets you more for your money so you can check into more, get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. Melbourne are going to be top of the table the way this is going as Triple M rocks the footy 46-6, and that's only half-time.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
Thanks to the reliable Mitsubishi Triton. Nothing can frighten a Triton.
It's the half-time break, and if you need a break from giving your mates that may be a little hard of hearing a play-by-play, send them to Specsavers. The hearing experts at Specsavers Audiology can help them rediscover the joy of everyday sounds, and I guess you can count on us in that.
Yeah, I went to Specsavers the other day, actually, just to get some backup glasses. I should have gone to get... I forget they have... this is why these ads are good, because you forget they have the audio stuff as well. So don't leave your teammates on the sideline. Get everyone back in the game with Specsavers Audiology. Book an appointment, specsavers.com.au/hear.
At Triple M, we know life's expensive. Phone bills, power bills, random bills. People called William who therefore have the nickname Bill. You know, we get it.
Now, Triple M's paying your M's.
The M's are paying your M's.
Giving you the chance to win free tolls for a year on us. And it kicks off tomorrow. With Triple M breakfast and all day. On 104.9 Triple M.
She thought it was true love. He looked at her. Handsome. Nice watch. Then he just started firing questions. How much do you earn? What are your assets? Why do you need my money? It was then she realised he was a bank and would never understand her business. Red Z knows when you need a loan, you need someone that understands the self-employed. With love from Red Z. Speak to your broker or visit redz.com. Red Z. Backing those who back themselves. Australian credit licence 311128.
Sorry, sir. Tickets for the footy are officially sold out.
Again? Oh, no!
Let Bottle Mart kickstart your footy season with a chance to watch footy all over the world when you buy 10 packs of Bundaberg Original UP Rum and Cola for $48.99. Or a trip to Brisbane's Magic Round when you spend $20 on participating products like 30 packs of Great Northern Super Crisp for $58.99. You can expect more from Bottle Mart. More deals, more range, more service. Enter online. Terms and conditions apply.
Bottle Mart.
It's more in store.
Hey Brownie, did you see the massive hanger I took on Super Saturday Live?
Sure did, Bobby Hill. Fox Footy has exclusive live footy this Saturday. Available on KO Sports. Can you believe it?
Super Saturday Live on KO Sports. Get on board.
Trust is crucial for any tradie. Trusting your tools to nail the job. Trusting your team to deliver top-notch work.
Hey, mate.
And of course, trusting your best mate to lend a paw. For insurance, IMAR has been trusted by tradies for over 35 years. We work hard finding you the right cover, chasing your claims and getting you back on the job fast. For tradies insurance you can trust, give IMAR a whistle on 13IMAR.
And the tradies, mate. That's
Surprise Fries is back at Macca's with millions of instant win prizes, plus weekly draws to win 10 grand cash. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win. Ends April 1, 2025. For full terms and permit numbers, visit our website.
Right now, your Qantas points earning credit card is the ticket to here, there, and everywhere. So wherever the destination, get there sooner with up to 130,000 bonus Qantas points. Plus, for a limited time, first-time card holders can get an extra 20,000 points. But hurry, offer ends 31st of March. Visit qantas.com/cards. Cards are not offered or issued by Qantas. Minimum spend, retention, credit and eligibility criteria, T's and C's, fees and charges apply.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M.
Triple M rocks footy. Halftime highlights.
Get expert service trusted by the trade at your local Mitre 10 Trade Centre.
Grant goes left side. Pappenhausen sees an opening, then gets a pass. Knocked down by Neil. Pappenhausen picks it up and scores. 9 away. Grant away to Munster. Gets it on to King and he strolls over. This machine is... Well, it's in full bloom at the moment. Number 15, Alling McDonald.
Jesus, some holds.
The hand stays on the ground here. Last tackle, high kick from Munster. Coming down, and you go! Coates! Magnificent take and put down! Only Xavier Coates could do that!
We've seen some great tries in round one. Not many better finishes than this, Dan.
Here's Eli Katoa. Breaks away from Brown. He's got a man on his inside. Doesn't need him. Goes himself. Ankle tap. Gets up. Goes again without a hand on him. And the Dalian medal winner gets over for a try. This is a conservative set, but they're still rolling. Munster dummies and he's got a gap. Then the early ball to Howarth. They're lining up. Coates is waiting on the inside. Long pass. Comes to Coates. Try time. Used to Munster. Munster away to Meany. Here's another. Grant on the inside. See you later. They're into the 30s. Smith throws a wild pass left, and now it's intercepted, and this could be another Melbourne try. That is pathetic stuff. It's Nick Meany. Down the side, down the middle he goes. He's being chased by Russell, and that's horrible from Parramatta. Penasini tackle 10 away. Last. They must get something here. Brown, just for their well-being. Up they go. Yes, they've scored. Great catch, Jake Tungle from the scrum. It comes outside, inside. Pappenhausen strolls through and scores. As slick as it is, it's awful defence. Melbourne, 46-6 at half-time. Just some records here. I've just got these on my little machine, so I better confirm these. But Melbourne's biggest win, 64. Melbourne's biggest score, 70. They did that twice. Parramatta's biggest loss and biggest score conceded both came in the same game when the mighty Raiders of 1993 beat them 68 to blot. So all those things are in play. A couple of things from those highlights. Ellicott Toa, not the Dally M medal winner, the Dally M second rower of the year. And also, you learn something today. You learn that a machine can be in full bloom. So that's a weird way to describe something, but there you go. So 46-6 is the halftime score. Is Triple M Melbourne taking this one, Charlie? No. They took us last week. Is there an AFL game on? I think they're on GWS Giants. They're stuck with GWS Giants, and they're missing this. I know they're an AFL city, but I bet I know who the Triple M Melbourne audience. Okay, it's Collingwood. That's fine. That's fine. Well, the people that are here, the 25,000 or so, have got. They could walk away now, and they know they've had a full day's entertainment because the Melbourne Storm have turned it on. 8 tries to 1.
Yeah, it's just a case if the Melbourne Storm put the cue on the rack here and decide they've had enough, decide how much energy they want to.
They're not the sort of side that.
No, they're not, and they've got so much speed, and they've got so many players that love scoring tries as well. We've yet to see Warbrick get over the line as well. He'd be just maybe tipping up Grant and Hughes, saying, "Just can you give us some ball down that right edge."
Important to some, Will Warbrick scoring, Jimmy. Look, those that invest and maybe have had some other try scorers, and they would have had Warbrick. But anyway, that's inconsequential for most. So here come the Storm. To speak perhaps of the relentless way they go about it, they made Parramatta wait on the field for a couple of minutes.
It's a warm afternoon down there as well. We saw some of the Storm players having the ice vests on to cool that core temperature down before the start of the second half. So then they're not mucking around here, the Melbourne Storm.
Did you just see how fit Nelson looks? Now he's wearing the polo. He looks lean by Nelson standards. 46-6. Quickly down to Will Chambers on the sideline before we get underway.
Just spoke to Todd Lowry from the coaching staff of the Melbourne Storm, and he just said Craig was saying at half time he just wants them to front load their energy in defence. He said that's what worked well in the first half, and he said that's why the points come, because of the defensive energy. And speaking to Craig Sultana from Parramatta, he just said that Jason Riles said that he just wants them to show some fight and some hunger in their jersey. He said he was disappointed with that half, but they wanted to wipe it and start fresh now.
Thank you. Good stuff, Will Chambers on the sideline. So off we go. What is about to transpire here? Is it more of the same, or can Parramatta at least have a better second period? Bob Jane teammates with the sideline cross. First tackle, Jack Williams is driven back. Melbourne running towards the Melbourne cricket ground end. The G end is Parramatta run to the south. And I'll tell you what we can do after today, Jimmy Graham. We can burn these paddle pop jerseys because they ain't working. The paddle pop shorts and the paddle pop tops, they don't look fearsome and they're not playing fearsome.
See, I think that's the best thing about Parramatta today, is their jerseys.
Look at that. You got an aqua bit of headgear on a yellow.
Yeah, I mean, that is a colour clash.
They look like the Flint Tropics, for goodness sake. Let's get tropical. Here's a kick on the last from halfway. As it's taken on the full here by Will Warbrick. Nice, well, reasonably even line of defence there. And a bit of grunt in that tackle, particularly from little Riley Smith, the backup dummy half, and Melbourne start 12 out from there. Right line and a knock on. Meaney drops it. Well, Nick Meaney, what is doing now? Parramatta. Now, this is a perfect way, perhaps, to start this second half. As Kelma Tuolungi carries it, and the ball's ripped out of his hands by Munster. 2 in the tackle, 1 peeled off. Munster rips it out. That's just adding insult to injury. And that was on what? Tackle 2. Dear me.
As a player, it actually makes you sad to see that. You get a little bit of hope. A good ball attacking opportunity, and a guy like Munster comes up with that play. Tuolungi just puts his hands up in the air and, yeah.
Oh, now
what do you do?
Bloor carrying it up here and dragging Volkman to within 20 of halfway. Grant scooting out a dummy half. Short pass to Wishart. And Wishart is captured by a couple of Parramatta defenders here. Set will be completed inside their own territory, which is a rarity. High kick from Hughes. Gee, it's got some height and some distance on it. Good catch, Yongi. Funny thing is, Yongi's done some nice things on occasion this afternoon in this bloodbath, and he carries it to within 22 of halfway. Jake Tungle, the Parramatta try scorer, just going one out. Parramatta, by the way, are back home next week. They play West's Tigers at CommBank. In fact, the next two for Parramatta, Sunday Arvos, will have them both on Triple M footy, and they should be big events too. Tigers next week, Bulldogs the week after, and they're both 4 p.m. games. So that should be standing room only. Now comes across Hopgood. To the right he goes. Volkman gets it on. As now comes to Lomax. Puts a lovely move on Howarth, but Howarth grabs him by the back of the shorts just before Lomax gets by completely. Last tackle. Munster a bit of niggle in that tackle. High kick goes up. Coming down about 5 away. Contest. Pappenhausen too good. Pappenhausen too good.
Brilliant take from Pappenhausen there. Got to be brave. Playing in the fullback position. We see some...
Warbrick driven back. Sorry, Jimmy. He was under pressure there, and he threw a bit of a risky pass, but he found Meany. Melbourne 10 out from their own line.
Yeah, he was, Dan. It was a risky pass from Warbrick, but just saying on Pappenhausen, there was some fullbacks that like to sit in their chairs and try and catch that ball, but Pappenhausen is happy to leap from the ground despite being injured for a lot of his career. He's a brave person. He doesn't matter. He'll take that injury again or run that risk. He'll jump and compete for that football. Brilliant stuff from the Melbourne number one.
Now with getting up and going again after he was partially tackled. Hard work this for Melbourne. They're just outside their 30. And Tungo down, and he's clutching at a knee. Clutching at a knee, it seems, there.
And
the kick here. That's 40-20 territory, and it turns Yongi around, but it's a little far away from the right touchline.
Look at that chase.
And now he's driven back here by a ferocious pair of Munster and Coates. 11 out from their own line. Tungo is still down. I don't know what the issue... it's arm. Down to you, Will Chambers.
Yeah, it looks like it's his arm. The trainer's out there with him now, but they're flagging to the sideline, so I dare say that he'll be going off.
Jeez, I hope that's not a pec or a bicep, because they're both long-termers. He was clutching at his left knee, but he just had his hand resting on his knee, obviously, because his arm was in a world of pain. So now, straight down the middle, Williams breaks into the backfield. Who's he got on his outside? He's got no one, so he goes himself. Now he's joined by Penasini. Flips the pass, Penasini dragged down. 12 out, Parramatta, surely. They spread it to the right. Comes to Volkman, puts in a kick. No one really chasing. Taken by Kamikamitha for Melbourne, and he walks it over the back. But that's better from Parramatta, and they get themselves a dropout, 46-6.
Yeah, I think a Melbourne Storm player was called offside, and then Jack Williams just goes through. Yeah, it's Sean Bloor that balks out of that tackle. But what about the work here from Alec McDonald, Pappenhausen, and then as Williams passes to Penasini, it's Alec McDonald, the front rower, that is there to make that tackle as Pappenhausen deals with Jack Williams. That's brilliant work from the Melbourne Storm bench front rower.
Pappenhausen kicks it. Does it go the 10? Needs to bounce? No, it doesn't. I think it's hit someone and gone back
Howard.
here. And at Howarth, problem for Howarth, it hit him, and he wasn't past the 10 or on the 10-metre line. So penalty Parramatta. And Pappenhausen just a little shallow with that one. So Parramatta now. Well, this is better for them. They've been far more encouraging early in this second half. Riley Smith on debut, is about to take the tap. So 46 points in 46 minutes now, but it's Parramatta looking for their second try. So Jack Williams carries it, 17. Charlie Guymer carries it up. Similar look to Jack Williams, who's the 11. Now it comes the left side, where it's played here by Hopgood. And the dummy half, Riley Smith, harangued by the two markers, and Parramatta reviews 3 tackles. Now they go left side, where it comes here to Brown. Brown draws in a defender. Gave it to Yongi, who looked like scoring, but no. Meany grabs him in a terrific one-on-one tackle. Back it comes from left to right. Riley Smith going across to his right, giving it to Volkman. Stab kick. Again, no chase, no direction. As Pappenhausen cuts it off and is easily up to the 10-metre line.
Playful kick from Ronald Volkman. Not an option that any of his teammates were anticipating.
As Melbourne now struggling to work it out here. They're actually in a bit of quicksand. Down to you, Will Chambers, Bob Jane teammates.
Yeah, I just think there's a miscommunication out there with the attack of Parramatta at the moment, but Look, Volkman's kicked early. Zach Lomax had no idea. So there's a bit of frustration, but hopefully they get it going and they can score a few tries.
Yeah, they're rattled. There's no question. Now, a bit of ball movement here from Melbourne. A couple of offloads. Kamikamitha getting up over his 20. Stopped with 2 tackles left. A little inside. Beautifully worked play, but Meaney cut down by Tuolungi. That tackle had to be made. Grant on the last. Kicks him just shy of halfway. And, oh no, it's been knocked on by Tungor. He didn't know whether to let it hit him, whether to let it go past him. In the end, he tried to grab it, and it was a catastrophe. Melbourne will get their first genuine chance here, I do believe, in the second half, 46-6.
Oh, dear, yeah, that's a fundamental error there from Tango. He sort of clutches at his arm, trying to blame the injury. It does bobble, and maybe he's unsure about the position of Harry Grant as he takes that kick. Didn't want to concede a 40-20. He was over the 40 though. He should have just let that one go, or maybe trapped it with his feet. Melbourne Storm with a great opportunity.
So now comes here to the right side. Munster, short ball, Meaney. Meaney's already got a try. Is chopped down. That was a set-up play. Now it comes back to the open left. Wishart turning it in. McDonald driving to within 2 metres of the line. Williams is there along with Hopgood. But again, 6 more coming because Parramatta offside. Here's Munster. Goes left to Hughes. Hughes on. Out it goes. He got it down Coates. He thinks he's got it. Little punch to the fist. Tungor thinks he's got Coates out. That looked awkward. I don't think Coates has got this.
I have no try. Confirm he's going into touch.
So it's all about Coates' legs here because he's grounded it properly, but his legs, he tried to get him up in the air. But Tungor got a good hold of him. That left foot is up. It's up, and
Xavier Coates' left leg touches the touchline.
You heard it there from the bunker. So well done, Jake Tungor.
Yeah, you can see what Coates is trying to do there and raise his legs, but Tango just in a position where he was unable to. But again, the opportunities the Melbourne Storm create when they have the ball in good field position. Scintillating stuff.
Yeah, that was not clockwork, that play, but Parramatta hold on. Thursday night, Newcastle Dolphins live here on the Triple M network. Newcastle first start winners, Dolphins first start losers. And they're both in very close games last Friday. Kilmer Tuolungi hits it up here for Parramatta. 46-6 Melbourne. And is on the Mitsubishi Triton scoreboard. Friday, Warriors Manly. So Warriors well rested, taking on the rampant Manly Seagulls. That's your Triple M game early on Friday as Pappenhausen brings it back here for Melbourne after Parramatta's deep kick. The 8 o'clock game, Penrith versus Roosters at CommBank. And now penalty Melbourne here. I think the referee here, Wyatt Raymond, was just trying to be kind to Parramatta, but he couldn't hold off any longer. Parramatta offside.
Yeah, just too eager. It was a smart play from the Parramatta Eels to kick early, play 3, turn Ryan Pappenhausen around, and then the chase was pretty good to follow that up. But then, yeah, Hopgood and a couple of his mates in the middle of the field just go way too early. Referee with no option other than to penalise the Parramatta Eels for offside.
Ball put into touch 45 away as Howarth takes the tap and helps himself to about 15 metres as the Parramatta defensive line just stood there. No points in the second half as yet. Grant waiting at dummy half. 10 in from the left touchline. Throws to the open right to Munster. Munster keeps it going to Valepu, this impressive youngster. Had a handful of games last year. Crashes into the defence. Played centre field to Grant. Throwing it right to Hughes on to Pappenhausen. Now comes here to Eli Katoa, who bumped off a defender and had the winger unmarked and didn't give it to him. Warbrick's going, come on, let me join the party. Now it comes back to the open side, the left, where Grant links up with Hughes. On it goes Bloor out the back to Howarth. Puts on a shimmy. Can't get by Lomax. Lomax stands his ground. Volkman over the top. 9 away. Grant back to the open side to the right. Munster onto Wishart. Now to Hughes. A hospital pass, and Hughes falls into a tackle.
He was collected high there by Dylan Brown as he fell. To be fair, Hughes did fall into that.
Yeah. And he gets up. He's fine, albeit a bit shaken up. The high kick on the last. Here comes Xavier. He got there first and dropped it. Oh, Xavier's had a Barry the last couple of minutes.
Funny.
Yeah, well, the 11 minutes to start the second half for the Melbourne Storm hasn't been anywhere near as clinical as the opening exchanges between these two teams.
Well, he did the hard work.
Yeah, he did.
Tungo balked him a little, but he mistimed his jump. Tungo, he was too early. So Coates had a clear passage, and it just hit him on the hands. All he had to do was grab it, and he would have had his third. Now it's Riley Smith for Parramatta. Line ball pass out of dummy half. Hopgood the same. Getting it on now to Dury, the former Bulldog. Been at Parramatta a little while now. Now Grant's taken. Is that Grant? No. Munster took a knock there. It is wincing. Accidental shot to the head, I believe. Oh, Brown clobbered after throwing the pass. It was a strong shot by Kamikamitha, the man that received the ball tackled. That's Tuolungi on the next. Hopgood getting it on to Dury. And Dury is met here, centre field. 25 out, back to the right side before the last. Another kick, which is a bit aimless. At least it's got some depth on it. And Coates is helped back into the in-goal by Lomax.
Listen,
so again, it's sort of kicked
motion, he's completed the tackle and put him into the in-goal.
So the kick again, Parramatta's outside backs really weren't ready for it, but it was pretty well placed. They had enough time to get there, and Coates, crowd might be booing, but that looked pretty legal as he was dragged back into the in-goal, because Lomax scooped him up into the in-goal, didn't grab him and then drag him across 46-6.
Yeah, Coates there just sort of dives over the line and concedes the tackle. Lomax within his rights to apply force to that one and got him back. Smart play from the centre of Parramatta.
Can he get it back here? Oh, no, the ball's been batted back. It's gone past about 3 players, and the big unit, Valepu, comes up with it. Well, that's the sort of day Parramatta's happening. It was batted back well by Melbourne, but all it needed was one Parramatta player to slice through, grab it, and that would have been a try. Now Lomax mucking around in the... there's that word I shouldn't use. Mucking around in the ruck, and he and Grant got tangled up. They were both appealing for a penalty. The ref just said, keep going, and Grant picks it up and runs a few metres. 46-6 Melbourne. Mitsubishi Triton scoreboard. 13 and a half gone in this second half. Here's Wishart is taking a huge dummy there and straightening and almost finding a way through. Ball played. Forward.
Another forward pass.
Half. You've never seen it side this messy, leading 46-6. The little things they've done wrong, Melbourne, they're typical round one errors.
You could have picked the ball up and you chose not to.
Okay, so Parramatta to get this back again in good field position. Will Chambers, haven't heard from him in a while. Will, down to you on the sideline. Bob Jane teammates.
The intensity of the game's come out a little bit here. You're saying about the errors. Melbourne sort of just rolling and going through the motions, whereas Parramatta, they're trying to lift. You can see they've got a bit of attitude with their defence and a bit more intent, which Riles will be happy with.
And probably the best thing, Will, they didn't concede early in the second half. Can you imagine? Oh, here we go again. But because they've really been in the fight since the resumption. Oh, beautiful. Don't argue from the scrum win. Penasini getting rid of Meaney. Meaney comes back on a second attempt to help make the tackle. But a stylish run there from Penasini. 28 away as Melbourne work towards the southern end. Kelma Tuolungi carves it up close to the 20 where he's knocked over by Grant and Wishart. Smith dummy half. To the right he goes Volkman. Volkman getting it onto Yongi. And Yongi is working up the right edge, but all over him, Bloor and Munster. Riley Smith, this young dummy half, getting a lot of game time. Short pass here to Geimer, threatening down the sideline, and he's stopped, and the buzzer's gone off. 6 more tackles. So Parramatta get a repeat set here. Volkman, he goes across to his left. He drops it under here for, looks like Hopgood working up the centre. And encouraging for Parramatta, Hopgood's return. He plays it now. It goes left. Comes from Volkman to Brown. Brown away. And intercept. Oh, no. Not again. Warbrick. I don't think he's got the pace. There's Riley Smith. He's coming across. He's not going to make it. And Lomax. Oh, yes. He's going to make it. Will Warbrick. And he kisses to the crowd. He was toying with Lomax. Lomax was gaining. Warbrick was just teasing him. And then he put the foot down. And Will Warbrick scores another length of the field intercept. He's got one. Meaney has one. 50 is up. And it took him 55 and a half minutes.
Yeah, well, Will Warbrick in first gear here, Dan. He's ran 90 metres with the ball in hand. And he is just relaxed in his breathing. He hits the accelerator and then just pulls back a little bit, assesses the situation, sees he can't be stopped, scores the try. And usually if you're in top gear, top speed, running 90 metres, You're struggling to get the air and the oxygen into the lungs and the muscles. But Will Warbrick, he's in first gear. That is great anticipation from him. Paul from Parramatta. Will Warbrick is finally on the scoreboard.
Who threw that pass there, Jimmy? It wasn't Dylan Brown, was it?
I think it might have been Dan.
That's not a good look for a bloke about to get 1.3 for 10 years. But anyway, you can do that on your podcast and your 360s and all those shows as we look at a replay here. Problem is, it's just so telegraphed. It was obvious what Brown was doing. No. Yongi. So we'll forgive the young man. Second first grade game. Apologies to Dylan Brown, although today is not reflecting well on him or anyone really from Parramatta. So Will Warbrick, 50th game of first grade, but...
Will Warbrick just basically said, lads, if you're not going to pass it to me, I'm going to have to do something about this. Because you clearly didn't want to pass me the ball.
You think
you clearly have something against me. You don't want me to score round one.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what? I want to go and get in on the action myself. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think you've broken this story wide open. I think it might be a personal hygiene issue, and well, if we're going to go down this path, let's really go down this path. No good.
Away.
Ball is pulled, and it's no goal. 50 points to 6. Seems like a champion bloke. I saw that interview he did on Fox last year or the year before. Champion bloke, Will Warbrick. And they do like him at the Melbourne Storm. Really wholehearted player, former rugby player, a little AFL background as well, but boy, he's taken the league well.
He's an athlete, isn't he? And even there, when he took that interception, he's just stood there. It's a standing start, breakaway sprint.
Yeah. All right, well, Chambers, down to you, Bob Jane teammates.
I think it's now time for Dylan Brown to stand up. I know that you sort of mentioned there before that it was his pass, but I think he needs to get on the ball and start trying to create some stuff. Like if you're chasing the contract, which he is, I think it's now important that the boys are down and out, so he's got to stand up and take a bit of leadership.
There was a Choice Hotel stat, Will, we had during the week on the NRL 360 there. When he has Moses with him, they bat at about 66%. But when he's in the side, Brown, but doesn't have Moses, it's 33%, and that's going to drop after today. It really doesn't reflect well.
Again, here the Parramatta Eels defence, one off the ruck, off the kick-off. Kamikamifa there. It was beyond poor. There was 3 or 4 players in the line. They weren't connected. They just...
Bloor.
That's play on.
Into the back of a Parramatta player. Taken by Howarth. He's away. Here comes another.
Pass the ball.
He ignores Coates. Now Howarth, he'll want to score or get the try assist. He does. He finds Jerome Hughes, and Hughes scores. Coates will be filthy because he had a hat-trick on toast. But I tell you what, Howarth didn't panic. He could have panicked because he butchered it. But he recovered. Hughes is over 54-6.
Yeah, they'll need to analyse this play a little bit as the Harry Grant jumps down the short side. Bloor looks to offload. It actually goes into the back of Zach Lomax, propels forward, played to the whistle. Jack Howarth knew that the forward motion of the ball hadn't been generated by his teammate. He sort of botches the 2-on-1. He could have put Coates away for his hat-trick, as you say, Dan. He elects to show and go himself. Some Parramatta players in scramble defence. Luckily for him, Jerome Hughes was there waiting to pounce on the opportunity. Either way, Howarth gets the assist, but Hughes gets the try.
So Jerome Hughes, he's the Dally M winner from last year, and he gets over. Hardly noticed Jerome Hughes, and that's absolutely no knock on him. It's just been such a team effort that everyone's had a contribution at some point. And Jerome Hughes, 1 try assist and now 1 try. Munster, 3 try assists. I'm not doing the Supercoach this year, Jimmy. I've got to say, gee, it's a relief. Because I'd be looking at this game and I'd be starting to do the sums in my head. Right, I'd be doing Meany and then there's Munsters. I just don't have to worry. It's a great concept, but sometimes you just need a year off. Kick is good, 56-6, and there's 20 to go.
You're doing a Jurgen Klopp, just stepping back from management.
I'll tell you what, I don't need to see anymore. Jurgen Klopp doing that Travago ad. Although, you know what? Not a bad actor. I'm going to make a bold statement. I mean, it's 50 points. Nathan Cleary does those ads well. His partner is better. I know, and Jimmy, declare to you, the next time we have Nathan Cleary on, I'll say it to his face.
Oh, okay.
That Mary is a better actor in commercials than Nathan. Nathan's good. He does the 6,000 commercials, the Rexona ones and all the others. But Mary's better. And what's doing on the sideline there, Will Chambers?
Jerome Hughes is in for an early shower. He's come off. He's obviously resting him, and they've got a big game in 2 weeks. So I dare say, his boots are off now.
What about that early season cracker? The NRL does that well. They've scheduled the grand finalists Melbourne, Penrith, round 3. You beauty. That's a Thursday too. That's going to be a spicy game.
That's down in Melbourne.
I just want to get... yes, it is. Amy Park. Charlie, let's go to that game. Let's go to Melbourne for the hell of it. Why wouldn't you? That's a grand final. I'm not even on the roster for that one. I'll do that one if you would like. Wishart has dropped down 9 short of halfway. Now it comes across Munster. Munster keeps it going. Kamikamitha. And he's met on halfway. Now comes across here to Munster again, puts in a kick. They're steaming through. Bloor and Coates and Courageous take at the back there. That looked like a Yongi who took a tumble.
He's been good for Parramatta. He's been the one shining light in this Parramatta team. The youngster Yongi. He's been brave. Look, he did throw that intercept, but
you can forgive that.
Yeah, like for an assessment in his contribution, he's been Parramatta's best by some way.
All right, so 2 tries in this second half. Barlaw onto the number 21. Boy, he's a unit. Tui Vaiti. So Sam Tui Vaiti is 8 short of halfway. So a second player on debut here for Parramatta, and Yongi's only in his second first grade game. So, the lack of experience is telling. Volkman, the halfback, kicks. He's only played 5 first grade games, and an inexperienced play there. He boots it long. Pappenhausen lets it hit the try line, and it just goes way over the back. 20-metre tap, 7 tackle set. So they're back in gear, Melbourne. That's the frightening thing. Their highest ever score in a game is 70. And now that they've got the taste of blood again, you sense that they might not be done with this after that slow start of the second half.
Probably got away with that one, Ryan Pappenhausen there, just allowing that ball to bounce, and he got the look of the draw there where it bounced towards his in goal and trickled over as opposed to bouncing back towards the Parramatta chasers. We've seen that go wrong before.
Maybe he's studied. He spent all off-season studying the flight of the ball and the spin and work.
Yeah, the prediction of where it...
That's right. It's like Dennis Rodman studied rebounds, where the ball was going to bounce. Now here's Pappenhausen bobbing down the middle of the field, finding Wishart. Holding it out extravagantly and then straightening, but well felled in the end by Penasini. 30 away, 2 tackles left. Grant, surely not long for this game, Harry Grant, as he takes a fall out of dummy half, and he'll be made to play at 21 metres out. Munster looking short side, that's where he goes. He finds Pappenhausen, who's going to kick on the run. That's a terrible kick. It's in the in goal on the full, and a neat catch at the back by Sean Russell. 56-6.
That was a really bad kick.
That was catching practice for Russell, because the chasers didn't have a chance, and all Russell had to do was hold him. Now it's Lomax. He'll play it here. Now it's the other centre, Penasini, who's tried hard. 10th run. 2 centres, 10 runs apiece. Tackle made. The problem is for Parramatta, a lot of them actually really have tried hard. They're just completely out of their depth on this Sunday afternoon. Yongi, one of those, he's met and put down. And
they're just not connected together as a unit down, defensively especially. They're going up as individuals rather than a collective unit.
Tuivasa playing it. Now it goes from right to left. Dylan Brown wanted to pass down that left side, but saw there was rushing defence, so he just took the tough tackle on the 30. Barlaw at the line. Short pass to... Volkman side swipe by Utoi Kamanu. And the last coming here for Parramatta from centre field. Smith, the dummy half, to Brown. Puts up a high kick, no depth on it. And they let Russell catch it, but then brilliant stuff from Warbrick. He knew what he was doing. He let Russell catch it, then he grabbed him and threw him over the sideline.
Yeah, smart play from Warbrick there. Just allowing the Parramatta player to get hold of the ball and throw him over the sideline. Knew that there was no option to pass the ball on the inside, but if history shows us anything, Dan, 2 teams are out the title race in the Roosters and the Parramatta Eels.
Oh no, You're a slave to that stat, I see, Jimmy.
Well, it was brought to my attention by Wade Graham on Thursday when the Roosters conceded 50, and now Parramatta Eels have as well. We're a 15-team comp.
All right. So what you're saying is we should have Parramatta play the Roosters every week because there's no point in them continuing, really, and we'll just have the other 15 on the ladder.
Battle it out, why not?
Munster away to Wishart. Wishart runs. He's going to break through soon. Almost did this time. Brown holding on. No markers. So Grant takes a few steps, gives it to Kamikamitha. Strong shot by Tui Vaiti. And that brings us to the last tackle. Munster puts up a contest of a bomb. Up they go. Batted back by Melbourne. But straight to a Parramatta player, Riley Smith, who was on the ground. Right place, right time. Will Chambers down to you on the sideline with 15 to go.
Oh, geez, Parramatta. Very, very tired at the moment. And it's Melbourne are sort of just rolling. And Parramatta are just slowly getting behind the ball now. But, yeah, it doesn't look good. And I dare say that young Tyron Wishart will start to cause some havoc out here.
But what a player Wishart is to have on the bench for the Melbourne Storm. I don't even know what position he's playing. Like, it's almost a new position. He comes on as a 13th style player, but he's in the halves. He's just everywhere, and he's so deceptive.
We need a name for it.
When you think of Melbourne as well, when their successful years with Slater, Cronk and Smith, they were so structured, so regimented. Imagine that team with a Tyron Wishart style of player.
High kick taken by Tunga on the last for Parramatta. Gives it to Lomax, hurls it infield desperately, bouncing. Comes back here on the last to Volkman. Pokes in a kick towards the corner. Pappenhausen takes it on the full, then ducks under a high tackle. Oh, he milked it, Ryan. He got a little clip, a tiny little clip.
He still makes high contact.
If your hairdresser gave you a clip like that, you wouldn't notice. But he knew, he saw a chance, he took it, and come on, Ryan. We love you, but he got a penalty there. But he got hit in the head, so it's fair. 56-6.
You want to stay down, Dan?
Oh, you're taking him out of the game.
I think there was enough there to warrant a stretcher.
Oh. All right, fair enough. 56-6. I mean, I'm happy to make the observation, but you've taken it to another level. Boy, oh boy.
I'll be too careful, mate.
You think Gordy's happy he's missed this game? He's picked the right game to have that situation. He's Katoa. Did I say this on air or off air? I better be careful. It's been a funny weekend. Comes to Pappenhausen. Oh, flick past to Warbrick. Dropped it cold. Parramatta scrum feed midfield. I turned on the news yesterday. I was getting a lot of text messages about my scenario, but then I'm watching the news because cyclone, right? I want to see what's going on because we're supposed to cross landfall. This is where the media I know why we can be disliked, Jimmy. The disappointment in some presenters that it was now ex-cyclone Alfred. I thought I get why people really just can't stand news people and media people in general. It was we're almost disappointed to report it's not as bad as we had prepared for. Anyway, just an observation. There is a penalty, Parramatta, Melbourne offside out of the scrum.
I don't understand ex-cyclone.
Well, it's not. Once they say it's not a cyclone, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
it is now
it's just bad weather.
But you need the tag.
Yeah, ex-cyclone.
They invented that.
It's not an ex-sunshine day, is it? It's not an ex-sunny day.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Where'd you draw the line?
Yeah. But the disappointment, they're downward in ex-cyclone Alfred. They come on. Time to, that's when you should be up. But
celebrate time.
But we budgets for disaster porn. We send entire teams up there. Now it comes here from Brown across to Yongi. Yongi on to Penasini. They'll score here. Penasini over. Penasini's over, and they have a chance to. They can't tie this game with this kick because Melbourne have scored 2, but their first try in the second half, and the sort of celebration you'd expect from a player whose team was down by 50 before that moment. Just a muted high five, but nothing more. 56-10.
Yeah, Penasini just got some early ball there, one-on-one with Nick Meaney. Just gets on the outside of him. I think Meaney would like that moment back again. but muted celebrations from the Parramatta Eels. They realised this game was finished a long time ago, Dan. A long time ago. Look, Parramatta very disappointed, but I think when the Melbourne Storm assess this game, they won't be happy with it. A couple of the tries that they've conceded and almost allowed Parramatta back into the game.
You're not going to try and sell to me that Craig Bellamy's going to be unhappy about this and he's got stuff to work. You can't.
Well, if you look at the Melbourne Storm completion rate, it's actually only 77%. So they're 30 from 39. Like 30 completed sets is impressive, but when you sort of hear coaches talk around the 80% mark, I think that they have come up with a number of errors for the choicehotels.com stats.
Yeah. In fairness to them, that's been about that mark all game. So even when they were putting it on point try after try, they were making the odd error. 47% on the per-tech kick predictor. A good-looking kick from Lomax. 56-12. And we're now into the last 10 minutes of this contest. Will Chambers down to you on the sideline for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, that was a disappointing try there, but that's one thing Craig Bellamy does pride himself on, and this organisation does, is the defence, and Nick Meaney, that was a simple one-on-one tackle miss, and it's the same as the try in the first half. Late in the first half, a try scored against them. It's funny enough, that's what happened to him in the grand final, and I'll tell you one thing, he won't let little things like that slide, and that's why the organisation goes so well.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Thank you. Crowd making their own entertainment here. Melbourne have scored, 10 tries now to 2. And it's Baldor first to hit it up. So, you're not going to believe this stat I'm about to read, Jimmy. Westpac red zone. Westpac bringing the footy. Parramatta, 22 tackles inside the 20. Melbourne, 11. Wow. And now, steaming onto this, Tuiva Iti. He's 10 short of halfway. Riley Smith's had a crack, the young dummy half. I don't know if that was the plan to have him on all this game, but or whether just the situation dictated give him some experience because the game's shot. But he's been pretty handy, and he's waiting a dummy half here off this Hopgood play the ball. 38 away, Volkman. He evades the rushing Josh King. Now puts up a high kick coming down on the 10. Up they go on Lomax. Got there first, went through his hands. Pappenhausen runs into a corner, then gets it on here to Coates, and Coates is cut down. 8.5 to go. You would have put your house on Coates getting a hat-trick. Well, he's stuck on 2. He's butchered a couple, and then there was another try where it should have gone to him, and it went the other way. And now, we've got to play down. We've got to play down here for Melbourne to knock on as well. What's going on there, Will Chambers?
It's extreme cramps by the looks of it.
Okay. They're going to penalise Howarth here for an incorrect play of the ball, not regathering his feet. The bloke goes down with a cramp injury. So they're saying that incorrect play of the ball, like we've seen.
Yeah, but he didn't play it properly. He didn't play it properly, Jimmy. It's radio, you got to talk. He didn't play it properly.
My silence speaks volumes, Dan. Oh. I think he played it properly and then fell over with cramp.
Yeah, but he didn't hold his balance.
How long do you have to stay off the ball?
No, I'm just taking the piss. Here's Will Chambers on the sideline.
They've given big Eli Katoa another rest here too, so I think the Storm have got players everywhere at the moment. I think Trent Liero's gone out onto an edge, and I think they're going to rest some of their boys because, as we said, round 3 they've got an important game on Thursday night against Penrith.
Well, Storm got the bye.
Yeah,
next week. Yes. Wow.
So 12 metres out here at Parramatta as they work upfield through Hopgood. Slips a pass backwards, comes across to Barlaw to Brown. Brown cut our ball to the left centre, Penasini, and Penasini is stopped. I'm going to be honest with you, Jimmy, I didn't even see the play of the ball you're talking about. I just thought it was nice to bung on an argument for the hell of it. I just love seeing you get rolled up. Now on the next hit up here by Hopgood. This is one of the better stories for Parramatta that he's got through to this point. Now, here's the halves combining. Comes to Brown, runs into 3 defenders. Well read by Melbourne. Melbourne have done... Howarth can't stand up. They've got to run it in. The cramps are getting worse. Yongi now slips away from 1 and is knocked over on tackle number 5. Left upright, Riley Smith. He goes left side to Dylan Brown. Dylan Brown getting it on, and the man he gives it to, Jack Williams, is closed down. So underwhelming last play for Parramatta, 56-12. We're seeing here with players cramping up. We've seen it in a couple of games. Canterbury faded badly yesterday. Held on, of course, but they just ran. They were running into a stiff breeze, into a brick wall, the way they finished that game. It's round one. I guess you've got to expect that a lot of these players hardly played any of the trial games.
Yeah, Stephen Crichton, one of the sufferers from that cramp injury.
So it would have been fascinating if Val Holmes nailed that kick to make it 28-22.
Would have been a very nervous crowd.
But anyway, well done to the doggies as Josh King flicks a pass back to Grant. Grant on to Munster. Munster from inside the 40, kicking on the run. And it's not going to be a 40-20, but it's got Parramatta back now near their own line. Yongi picks it up, and this is his 20th run. What a workhorse he has been. So big tick for Isaiah Yongi, albeit with a pick six, basically, an intercept which led to a try. We have 6 minutes to go here. Melbourne almost certainly will be top of the table. Brisbane beat Roosters, what was that score, 50-14? So that's a 36-point margin. This is 46. So Melbourne are going to be where they've spent so many years, so many rounds, and that's top of the table. As comes across here to Will Penasini. By the way, went through the Thursday and Friday games next week. Saturday, Saints and South at Wynn Stadium. I bet that's a sellout too. Yeah, hopefully, nice sunny Saturday afternoon. Dragons have got a great draw actually, just with home games early. His coach brings it forward here and is knocked over after Parramatta's kick. Here's Wishart exploring out of dummy half, draws in a couple of defenders, gives it to Howarth, who just stumbles into that tackle like he's a kangaroo. He's not running anymore, he's hopping. He'll play it 20 short of halfway as Howarth just can't move. Meany carries it up. 5 minutes to go here. 56-12. No, forward pass out of dummy half. That's the third time Melbourne's done that today. That's awful. It's not going to matter, but I bet they don't do that again this season. 3 dummy half passes forward. Riley Smith cramping up. Now, Jimmy, I don't want to see it, but the way these players are just cramping, we might see an up and under before the game's done. They are stretching themselves so thin. I think a reversal of fortune, as they call it in the hot dog eating competition, because you've got a lot of players who really are breathing in the big ones. And Harry Grant's afternoon's done. Jerome Hughes, well, he must be the golden child. He was the first one to get the early mark. And why wouldn't he be? Dalian winner.
Yeah, Munster still out there. Obviously, he had that groin issues last year, and he's remained out there for the full 80.
So Saturday, Dragons South, 3 p.m. We'll have that all over the Triple M NRL network. Still daylight saving, so knock off an hour in Queensland. Good game, 5:30. Cowboys Sharks. One of those sides is going to be 0-2.
Let's form it up. We'll go straight away when he's here.
Tuiva Iti comes off. Good little stint from him on debut. And then, what a game. Saturday night, Jimmy. You ready for this? Canberra, Brisbane in the capital. You beauty. Brisbane will be favourites, but Canberra will like their chances, and GIO Stadium should be close to jam-packed. Here's a penalty again. Melbourne out of the scrum, giving one away. And then Sunday, in this time slot, Parramatta Tigers at CommBank. They play twice in a month because Easter's not all that far away, and they play Easter Monday, of course. But next week, 4:05. Geez, afternoon footy at CommBank with a big crowd. Doesn't get much better than that. And then Belmore, and we'll have both these games. Belmore 6:15, 5:15 Queensland. The Doggies against the Gold Coast Titans. Gold Coast first game this year. So that's all coming up. Most of that on Triple M NRL as Barlaw.
Well, you'd hope next week when the Parramatta Eels come to play the West Tigers, they put up more of a fight in the beginning.
Now it's Brown turning it in. Matt Dury, his 7th run, carries at the 10-metre line. They can level the second half if they score a converted try, which would be, in fact, win the second half if they score a converted try. And they're going to score here because Brown's given it to Yongi. Yongi's over. Did he get it down? This is an extraordinary effort by Warbrick. It's been given a try, I bet the bunker has a good hard look at this, but well done to Isaiah Yongi. In a badly beaten side, he's been one of, if not the most encouraging aspect of the Parramatta performance. His first NRL try if it stands.
Yeah, just gets the ball out the back of some good ball movement. Will Warwick does his absolute best there, and we'll need to see that on the replay, Dan, to see if he does actually get that down or Warwick does his best. And
it's that first contact. I reckon he's got it down, Jimmy, but it's close. Harvey Norman replay. So here's a super slow-mo, and there's not enough to overturn, I wouldn't have thought. So the young man deserves that.
Yeah, he's been good for Parramatta. He's been a shining light in this side. He really has.
Okay, 56-16, 10 all, second half. And the man from Penrith, it franks that form that he showed in the trials. We're still waiting for confirmation here, though, so let's not put this up in lights just yet as we look at a side-on replay. Yongi and... I don't know, Jimmy, because...
He sort of falls onto the arm of Warwick, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he almost planted it on his own arm on that angle. I'm still not sure they have enough to overturn, but it's probably closer than we gave credit for there. And it's been given. Well done, young man. 56-16. Lomax, 2 from 2. And he's got it. So nice kicking from him today. Not that it matters all that much, but 56 points to 18 down to you, Will Chambers.
Yeah, well, as you said, young Longy is he's a shining light of the day for Parramatta, and hopefully he can build a combination with Dylan Brown and Volcom moving forward. I guess you got to try and get him some more ball and get him in some open space and let him create some stuff for his outside players.
All right. Good stuff. Hasn't he done? We've done a good job. I think we found one.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So just starting to cloud over on this afternoon here. Game at Amy Park. 23,500. Great first up crowd. And they know they've got a good team down here. That's why they want to come and follow them. No AFL in town. A game up in Sydney with GWS. So that's on TV, but they want to see this team in person. They're an exciting team as well. You talked about how machine-like they were with some, immortal-like players, but this is a fun team to watch. Parramatta spreading it on the last, in what's probably the last set here, as it comes from Penasini out to Russell. He's over halfway. Melbourne are dropping off tackles here. Players from both sides are cramping up to extreme levels. Brown hobbles in a dummy half. Volkman now gets it out to Hopgood, throws a forward pass to Barlaw. Play continues. Barlaw back to Volkman. Volkman back to Yongi. And Yongi's dropped down. 40 seconds to go.
That Melbourne Storm certainly second half can be forgiven for the lack of intensity in attack.
Oh no, now we've got another cramp here. Jack Williams, both legs are going on him. We need a mercy rule because both sides are suffering. A wild pass hits the leg of the outside man, Penasini, and is fallen on here by Meany. So Melbourne are going to be last with it here. They're going to lose the second half unless they score on the last play of the game. So all the records we talked about, they are first half records. 46-6 they led. Ball rolled into touch. Job done for the Melbourne Storm. A spectacular opening half. Parramatta blown out of the water. The second half became quite mundane. And the Melbourne Storm, they're the premiership favourites for a reason, and they're on top of the table already. One round in, and they are number one. Melbourne, 56. Parramatta, 18.
Yeah, they're number one, Dan. Clinical performance in that first half. Just far too much strike power for this lacklustre Parramatta Eels team that didn't pack their shoulder pads by any stretch of the imagination. Total domination. And a poor performance from Para. You can't afford to play like that when you come up against this Parramatta juggernaut. The Melbourne Storm juggernaut. What an outfit. Their spine just too fast, too classy.
Indeed, and that game brought to you by Macca's. Surprise Fries are back at Macca's with a 1 in 3 chance to win millions of prizes. And we can do that, or there's a chance to go into a weekly draw to win 10K. So it's either one of the surprise prizes or 10K in cash. So it's all good. Macca's, their Surprise Fries, and Ream Hot Water. Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, you know what to do. You ask your plumber to install a Ream. So it's muted celebration for Melbourne here because the damage was done in the first half. In the second half, they were actually pretty ordinary, but it doesn't matter as Will Chambers gets into position here. 23,500, as the boys were talking about. Melbourne have got a bye. That must be weird. I know you talk about the importance of bye position.
Yeah.
To start and cramp up and get some match fitness, and now they're not playing for another 12 days, and it's a grand final rematch.
Yeah, strange position to have the bye for the Melbourne Storm. You come off this Sunday victory, and you've got to wait until a week Thursday to play again. It's that difficult time, that 12-day turnaround. Like it probably, 10-day would be the maximum usual. Like a Thursday to Sunday, it's not that much different. So
no, that's fair.
Don't really know what the Melbourne Storm players do in this situation. Maybe a few days off here and there, a few get-togethers, but an untimely bye. They'd want to continue on with this good trainer form to start the season.
So Coates a double, Pappenhausen a double, singles to Warbrick, Meaney, Hughes, Grant, King, Katoa. And for Parramatta, Tungle and Penasini plus Yongi, a maiden try for him in his second first-grade game. And many questions for Parramatta, but one has certainly been answered. It has been answered before that, but Isaiah Yongi is clearly their number one of the future. So filling the big boots of Clint Gutherson, very impressive in parts today, albeit through an intercept pass that led to a try, but it wasn't the only Eel that made an error. And we saw a lot of Riley Smith, the backup dummy half. Tui Vaiti, he was actually pretty solid in the second half. Jerome Hughes, boy, he I don't think he'd be puffing Will Chambers because he's been off for 20 minutes with his feet up. Great performance, though. Yeah, down to you.
I've got Jerome Hughes here. Hughesy, great performance today, mate. Must be nice to get your first hit out of the way.
Yeah, mate, it's good. Unfortunately, didn't get any trial game time, but that's why I was cramping a bit there at the end. But no, it's good. I'm so proud of the boys after a real tough pre-season, and good to get a win in round one. On radio these days.
Go away, Harry. Yeah, mate. With in regards to the trial matches, you had a bit of a disappointing form there. What will Craig be saying after the game?
Yeah, hopefully he'll be a bit happier. He gave us a bit of a rocket after the 2 trials, and he said we let in too many points, which is not us, not a Melbourne Storm team, and we fixed a little bit of that up today, and hopefully we can keep getting better over the next couple of weeks.
Enjoy the bye round, brother, and hopefully you get into Penrith in a couple of weeks.
Cheers, mate. Feed up.
All right, beautiful. Thank you, Will Chambers and Jerome Hughes. Having a little byplay there.
I think Harry Grant had some words to say to Will Chambers.
So, full time here at Amy Park, 56 points to 18. So Melbourne top of the table. Brisbane will be second after round number 1. Electrifying first half. Does Jason Riles take positives out of that second half? The game's dead. So what do you make of that second 40-minute performance?
I honestly don't think you focus on that at all. I think you've got 2 options. Wipe it completely, restart, go again, or you assess some of the lackluster efforts in the first 40 minutes down. I don't think you can focus on the positives at all. The fact that they won the second half, I just don't think that matters one iota. I think if you deliver a positive message from that performance, you can get the wrong idea in the player's head that that's acceptable.
Tell you what, it's a big game now next Sunday. Parramatta West, you talk about narratives and things that will be in the media focus. Tigers lost one, they could have won. Parramatta obviously got blown out of the water. One of those is going to be 0-2. Ryan Pappenhausen, down with you. Will Chambers.
I've got Ryan Pappenhausen here, mate. What a start today. It was real fast and you just looked really classy out there.
Yeah, well, you got in a bit of a flow in that first half and just trying to bring yourself back to that moment and not get too ahead of yourself. So, you probably look at our trial form and it wasn't great, but we're getting flogged up until the trials. So it's good that we trusted the plan and come out and put a good performance in that first half.
Talk to me about the pre-season, Paps. It's obviously you had a disappointing way to finish last year. Did you just move forward or did you just look back over it?
No, you look at it. You sort of try not to look at it too much, so you sort of want to learn things from it, but if you look at the whole year as a general, it was quite successful. So you've got to take confidence out of that and just see how we could be better in those bigger moments. So we looked at that and we're quite comfortable where we're at, but we just want to use this season to grow and build and be a better team than we were last year.
And then just one last one, Big Stefano. How impressive is he and what a combination him and Nelson will make up front for us?
Yeah, he's amazing. I love him, mate. He doesn't want any accolades or anything. He just goes about his business, wants to work hard, fight for the play the balls, and does all the stuff that you really want from your ruck. So he's a great addition to the team this year, and I'm sure him and Nelson caused some chaos, but I think the ruck as a whole were really impressive today. In attack they were, but I thought defensively just really sound and looking for direction and really listening. So that's what you want from your ruck, and it makes my job easier. So to have him is a massive addition, and I think it just makes everyone's job easier.
And just one last one. This is my last one. The boys want to know about the hair. Is there a bit of blondness put through it?
Yeah, there's a bleach. I don't know all about it though. I think I'm going to go back to brunette. We'll see how we go. Mrs. doesn't like it either.
Mate, you look fast out there today, Pat. Great game, buddy, and all the best in a couple of weeks' time.
That's it. Good stuff, gentlemen. Well, there's no doubt there's bleach. Oh, we're claiming it's a stronger bleach than before. We might have gone to the White King. That's real. We've gone from the Domestos to the White King, or whichever one's the stronger. I don't think it's going to be the last time Melbourne score a half century this year.
No, Dan. I think you're on the money there.
So I think a few teams might cop the pacing that Parramatta copped there. And they've got the big sign now on the big screen. Next home game, Storm Panthers. Wow, what a beauty that's going to be. And we'll have it here on Triple M. Now, well done, Will. Good job by him. So we'll let him off and he can head on home. It is time for the CPAP Triple MVP. Get expert advice and unbeatable prices at CPAP Direct. Visit us in-store or at cpap.com.au.
Yeah, very difficult to come up with a 3-2-1 for the CPAP MVP for Triple M. 3 points, really difficult, Dan, to separate the level of performance. So 1 point goes to Jack Howarth. Thought he was really good in that centre position up against Zach Lomax. A couple of try assists as well. 2 points to Cameron Munster, running the show at 5'8", as per usual. And 3 points, Harry Grant. I thought the way he controlled the ruck was absolutely exceptional. The distribution, when to shift, when to play short, when to bring the ruck forwards into play. His decision-making put him in the top of the tree for 3 points.
Very good.
Very difficult one.
There's a few players you could have put in three. Yeah. Pap and there's a whole bunch of them. Anyway, nice work. CPAP bringing us the triple MVP. I just had not just had an idea, but I just remembered. I saw in America, I was in one of the CVS there, and the chemists there are also supermarkets. It's a shame this product isn't popular in Australia. You and Wade Graham could have done a podcast called Graham Crackers. It would have been what a name, but of course that means nothing here in Australia.
Nah,
anyway,
great partner.
You know what that observation says to me? It says, I'm cooked, you're cooked, and we're going home. Thank you, everyone. What a first weekend, or first round it has been. It has gone, 8 days? We start on Saturday night in America, Sunday here, so one for the books, and we'll be back on Thursday. Triple M rocking the footy. Enjoy these highlights.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M! Triple M rocks footy. Full-time highlights.
Get expert service trusted by the trade at your local Mitre 10 Trade Centre.
9 away, Grant away to Munster. Gets it on to King and he strolls over. This machine is... well, it's in full bloom at the moment. Last tackle, high kick from Munster. Coming down, and you go! Coates! Magnificent take and put down! Only Xavier Coates could do that!
We've seen some great tries in round one. Not many better finishes than this, Dan.
Here's Eli Katoa. Breaks away from Brown. He's got a man on his inside. Doesn't need him. Goes himself. Ankle tap. Gets up. Goes again without a hand on him. Gets over for a try. They're lining up. Coates is waiting on the inside. Long pass. Comes to Coates. Try time. Use the Munster. Munster away to Meaney. Here's another. Grant on the inside. See you later. It's Nick Meaney. Down the side. Down the middle he goes. He's been chased by Russell. And that's horrible from Parramatta. They must get something here. Brown just for their well-being. Up they go. Yes, they've scored. Great catch. Jake Tungle from the scrum. Outside, inside. Pappenhausen strolls through and scores. As slick as it is, it's awful defence. There's Riley Smith. He's coming across. He's not going to make it. And Loma, oh yes, he's going to make it. Will Warbrick, and he kisses to the crowd. Here comes another.
Pass the ball.
He ignores Coates. Now Howarth, he'll want to score or get the try assist. He does. He finds Jerome Hughes, and Hughes scores. From Brown across to Yongi. Yongi on to Penasini. They'll score here. Penasini over. Oh, Yongi's over. Did he get it down? This is an extraordinary effort by Warbrick. It's been given a try. Job done for the Melbourne Storm. A spectacular opening half. Melbourne 56, Parramatta 18.
The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Triple M footy lives on Listener. Catch all our games, interviews, replays and more.